And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of ESL Open Cup Americas number 209. I'm, of course, just Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the one, the only, my plushies. And I might be joined by another lovely caster in the coming rounds, in the coming finale of the event. But for now, we have the PvP. We have our first matchup, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Protoss, the Blue Protoss player, representing Team Basilisk. It is Trigger. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, of course. The event has already begun. Has already begun. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. I believe the bracket command should be updated. And yeah, we can just delve into this. Whew. Oh boy, sorry, I just look, I may have woken up a little bit late here. I woke up, I was like, and I've gotten out of bed. I had splashed water on my face, and we are diving in mid-series. Unfortunately, we missed out on game number 1. I was trying to catch it, but I was like 1 minute too late, and we ended up missing game 1, unfortunately. But at least we are here for the remainder, for game number 2 and 3, if we do make it that far. Yeah, as we get into this PvP, it's looking like everything as it should be. You know, we have the gate expand here on the low ground for MaxPax, is what we expect to be seeing. At the same time, Trigger also going for a gate expand, actually going to be delaying his gases, going for a faster expansion here. A slightly faster expansion compared to MaxPax. Okay, let's go. Trigger going for the slightly better economy here, and he will have it. He will take advantage of that. We'll see if MaxPax can punish that, or if he can just, of course, play catch-up, because for the time being, MaxPax has not expanded. Not yet. He's going for it. Trigger is here to delay. Oh, there it is. There is that expansion well underway. I'm just catching up on stuff. Just making sure that we're added to all the streams, to all the events. Beautiful. But yeah, the expansion has been taken, and of course let's go. We are both going for Stargate follow-ups here after our expansions, and we both see each other, and we are both going into Phoenixes. Now we are leading into Phoenix Wars. This is kind of what we're locked into in this PvP, just because once you start making Phoenixes, you can't really stop, otherwise you will die. Probe does go down here, though. The Adepts do get into the main base, and 4 probes get picked off. Really good start here for MaxPax. Really good start. Adepts are going to be coming in, and we should be able to shut down this Adept as it is going to be shading back in, actually. Oh my god, this shade was not cancelled, the lift didn't help, and we're going to get another probe. Another probe goes down. MaxPax popping off here when it comes to the harassments. When it comes to the economy, up 3 workers despite the later expansion, does have a better economy. And again, behind this, the Phoenix Wars have begun. Phoenixes are amassing likewise across the map. Trigger working on his own Phoenixes. We do have a second Stargate for additional Phoenix production here from MaxPax. Trigger, though, coming out a little bit behind as he loses the Phoenix. And this is going to snowball out of control, because Trigger is going to lose every single Phoenix out of the map. And from here, MaxPax, he can take a massive lead. He takes a massive Phoenix lead behind this. Trigger still on 1 Stargate economy. He lost so many war workers earlier. Now he starts up a second Stargate, but it may just be too late. Like, we're kind of snowballing already here. Like, Phoenix Wars are so delicate, and we just can't afford to slip up. Not like that. Not this early on. Yeah, MaxPax is going to be camping the production here of his opponent. He knows he has a massive advantage, and he will shut down even more Phoenixes. And he sees the lack of production, he sees the lack of second Stargate, and I think we just win from here. I mean, there is a shield battery and an overcharge to help support. There is that shield battery that will help. But outside of that, Trigger, he's stuck at home, and he's going to be perpetually behind. Like, In a mirror matchup, MaxPax, he just has better production, better economy, and he's just camping these Stargates. That's all he has to do. That's all he does have to do here, as he is just amassing more Phoenixes across the map. Again, it's just a numbers game at this point, and I don't see a world where Trigger can recover. Yeah, we dive on top of the Phoenixes, overcharge his opponent. It doesn't even matter. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series 2-0. GG, well played. That is how PvPs do go at times. If both players are locked into Stargate versus Stargate, if both players are locked into Phoenix versus Phoenix, then there's only one way it ends, and that is, of course, with the Phoenix Wars. And in the end, MaxPax did come out on top. He did come out ahead very early on. And in a mirror matchup, the reality is that you have the same tools, and you have the same. If one player has a better economy, if one player has a better production, there is no way to catch up in Phoenixes after losing so many so early on. Things just snowballed very quickly out of control. Very quickly indeed, and with that, oh, sorry, my phone is going off. My alarms even. With that, GG, well played. MaxPax will advance on into the next round. Trigger will be knocked out here quite early on, unfortunately. But you know, regardless, I hope he was able to learn from this and grow from this, of course. And GG, well played. MaxPax will take it. GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be getting into our next round. We're going to be getting into the next stage of the tournament, and we can all have a look at it together. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. Oh, my cab. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Un momento. Bam. There we go. As we can go from the top, from the very top. We have Clem taking down Spazzy Mazzy 2-0, waiting for the winner of Matt and Pig. Where I wish Matt and Pig the best of luck. Clem looking to have a deep run here in this tournament, as it usually does in ESL Cup Americas. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have a PvP between Creator and Hero. I believe Chicken Man may be on that series. I know we have some other English coverage going on at the moment in the other stages of the tournament. You know, hold on, I have to scroll down a little bit. Okay. I have to make sure I can catch some of our players. Make sure I can catch them. Okay, from the top. From the very top here, we have Creator vs. Zero in the PvP. Winner goes up against Clem, most likely. Scrolling down, we have Björn waiting for the winner of Yo-Yo and Geralt. Wish them both the best of luck. Björn going to be favored there. We have Parting taking down... Oh, he got the walker. Parting got the walkover over Solar. He takes down Decide, going up against Rare. And Parting versus potentially Björn is going to be a lot of fun. I wish Parting the best of luck. Unfortunately, not going to be the most favored of players, but he has made his return to StarCraft these past couple of weeks, and I do wish him the best. Here. As we do scroll down a little bit further, we have Holden versus Foxer. Holden 2-0'd Cure. Papi, was that a 2-0? Was that a walkover? Sometimes 2-0s. Hold on. Yeah, sometimes 2-0s can be forfeits on the bracket, but there we go. Really impressive. I wonder what happened there, but Holden 2-0ing Cure. Massive upset. Cure does get taken out. Folks are up against Holden next. Scrolling down, for the first time in months, for the first time in years, Rainer is here. Rainer is a part of ESL Open Cup Americas, and we have Rainer up against Berry Crunch, leading into either Holden or Foxer as well. And meanwhile, we have our portion of the bracket. MaxPax just 2-0 Trigger. Now he's up against either Epic or Dark. Beautiful. So it looks like we have our players and we will get ready for them. Okay, so it looks like Dark and Epic are currently conducting their vetoes and they will begin shortly. They will begin shortly here, so I need to very quickly set them up and get ready for our ZBT. So we're going to be casting Dark versus Epic, and that is going to be leading into Max Packs in the next round. That is where we will be focusing our attention. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have the series here. Epic versus Dark into Max Packs. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our next series. We just wrapped up with MaxPax versus Trigger, and now we are here with who faces off against MaxPax. We're here to determine who does advance on into the next round, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have the red Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran, the blue Terran player representing Storm Gaming. It is Epic. Here we go. Ooh, our ZVT is upon us, and yeah, again, the tournament is well underway at this point, and there's honestly a lot of pretty big names. We went over the bracket earlier. Really cool to see Raynor here making his appearance after years. I honestly don't know the last time he was a part of ESL Cup of Americas. It's been a very, very long time. So really cool to see that he has gone full degen and he is staying up deep late into the night to compete in this event. We'll see how far he can go. We'll see what kind of waves he can make as we are delving into our first ZVT here. Not the first time we've casted, I believe, Epic versus Dark. It has happened before, and I'm ready to dive into it again. For now, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener out of Dark. I'm a little bit surprised that we are loading into Equilibrium. Typically, this map is vetoed by the Terran player just because of how friendly it is for some Zergs out there, where we can take, you know, a pretty solid natural, pretty solid third base. We can rush into the gold as well. We have so much open space in the center of the map for these big engagements. So I wonder what Epic has in store for us. I wonder what he does have in store, as the SCV is going to be moving out across the map. He's going to be scouting. He is going to be checking. Just making sure that Dark did in fact go for a hatch gas pool. Hatchery has been spotted. Again, very important just because it is not unheard of to see Zerg players rush into this gold base, or for even Dark to go for a gas burst into a Roach Warren. He can be a very aggressive player. So from here, we're just going to be settling into this third base, soon to be taken here at the standard linear location, not the gold. Meanwhile, Reaper dips in, going to be dancing with these drones, and oh, the drone's getting very low. One worker goes down. Big pickoff here from Epic. Very nicely done. One drone does fall, and the Reaper will get the hell out of there. Reaper does rotate around. Queen is in position. Reaper is going to be forced back. And behind this, behind this, Epic is going for 3cc before Banshee. Very economic opener here out of Epic. Going to be getting into his add-on subs, getting into his build. And there's that starport on the way. Now, based on the placement here, I imagine we're going to be seeing a tech lab and an add-on sub out of Epic for 3cc Banshee, but we'll keep our eye on him. We'll keep our eye on what he will whip out. Likewise, Dark being a little bit cheeky here, going the long way around with his Lings. He does avoid the Zonaga, does skirt the edge of the map, and he is going straight for the mineral line. Oh my god. The Hellion does come out just in time though. And these Lings, they should not deal too much damage. We're kiting so far with these Hellions. Lings, they do split off to go into the main. Oh, the wall is open. Boys are pulled, and we do get a full scan of the main base as well. So very nicely done here by Dark. He does confirm the third CC. He does confirm the 111 follow-up, or the starport after CC. So he's aware of the economic opener. He's also aware of the Banshees. So big scout here from Dark. He sees everything. He sees all, he knows all. Likewise, Hellions are going to be moving out. And Dark getting ready back at home. He's going to be amassing his queens. Meanwhile, we don't care. Oh my god. Epic races past the queens into the mineral line as well. One drone does go down. Good splits here out of Dark. Oh my god. Despite that, 4 workers will fall. A good amount of damage dealt here. The queen's trying to get in position. Can we get another drone? Oh, we cannot. Good. Oh my god. Good SimCity. Good positioning from those queens. Did body block those Hellions. Did shut them down. And with that, Dark will clean that up. Did lose 4 workers in the end, but that could have been so much worse. Again, Epic, he did race across the map after killing the Lings, because the chance of Dark having Lings to defend after that would be a little bit lower. Did achieve a little bit of damage, not too bad. And behind this, we're getting into our Banshee production. First Banshee is out. We're waiting for the second. Cloak is still soon to finish. We're getting into our 3-1-1 setup. There we go. 5 Raxes on the way with those additional 2. Pretty solid setup here on 3 bases. Epic doing everything by the book. So far, everything is looking as it should. Meanwhile, we do have Dark throwing down that Bailey Nest, so he's going into Ling Bane. Did go for a faster lair, so very safe play here out of Dark. Going for the lair, going into that Ling Bane. Meanwhile, we do see the double Banshee dipping into the main base. Dark getting in position, does have his queens. Does have his queens, and is going to be able to fend off these Banshees for now. Now, the Banshees, they can, of course, one-shot workers. They can maneuver between the bases, and they can keep Dark back at home. We'll see what kind of value we can get. Did get eyes on the Lings, but we are looking for economic damage, and we can maybe catch a transferring worker. Oh! As we will soon run out of Cloak, though. The Queen, we get 1. 1 Queen does go down, big pickup. We get 1 worker, we get 2. We are sooner to get a 3rd as well, but the Queens, they do cut Epic off. It looks like 1 Banshee does fall. Good movement out of Dark. Does lose 2 workers, but 2 workers for a Banshee is a better trade for Dark. As Epic, he comes in from behind, does get another couple of drones. Dark out of position with those Queens. Expecting the Banshee to maneuver elsewhere. At the same time, we are getting ready for some drop play. That is an 8 Rax. We had 5 Raxes completed. Now we have a 6th, 7th, and 8th Rax on the way. No gases here at the 3rd base. This is looking to be a 3-base all-in. Looking to be. We'll see if we commit. We have a double drop here towards the south. We're building up the army. We're going to be getting into 1-1, of course, in a couple of seconds. We'll see if we throw down gases and a 4th CC. We'll see if Epic does go for a longer game, or if he does just double down here on 8 Raxes. I was wondering, 8 Rax is a 3-base all-in. And for now, we're just committing to drop play. Basically, I'm looking for additional gases, I'm looking for a 2nd factory, and I'm looking for a 4th CC. But we have none of that right now. Double jump everything out. Towards the south and north. And we will be able to get on top of this base. We force a cancel on the hatchery. Not bad. 2-2 has begun. But there's a lot of Ling Bane. Oh, no! In position. Some of the Baileys, they will connect, forcing Epic back. At the same time, towards the south, once again, Epic cannot gain any ground. Did clear some creep, did cancel a base. But this time, Dark is here. Good target firing. But it's still just too much to handle. That's a double jump coming back in. Yeah, and Dark is able to keep up with both ends. And there it is. There is a 4th CC on the way. So Epic, he's working on that next step. He's working on a longer game. Meanwhile, here comes Dark with the Ling Bane run by. He's going for the middle line. We do pull away in time. We do evacuate. And at the same time, Epic pushing right through the center of the map with 3 of those tanks, 4 tanks even. Well, the Bailings. The Bailings, they crash into the natural base and they get into the middle line and there's no reaction. Massive connections. 25 SCVs go down. At the same time, Epic is focusing on his push. A good spread, a good pre-split here from Epic. Tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. Dark still working on Ling Bane. Behind this, Hive Tech is done. Ultras are on the way. It's going to be Ling Bane into Ultra. And Epic is gaining ground, but we're coming in from behind. The full surround. We get a full surround. The tanks will fall. Bailing's rolling in. And we clean up the army. Epic, with almost nothing left. He escapes with 2 medevacs full of Marines. But Dark has more than enough for this. Once again, Epic coming in with the double drop towards the south. Dark is in position. Likewise, Epic jumping in once again with a drop. Sorry, with a medevac. But GG gets called. There's nothing left. No economy, no army, and Dark will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Epic was achieving some damage with his drop play. He was clearing up creep, he was denying the southern base, but unfortunately he wasn't ready for the Ling Bane run by. He was ready at the third, not ready at the natural, and Dark was able to pop off, was able to cripple the economy and force the all-in essentially from Epic. And in the midst of that all-in, Dark was able to come out on top. GG. GG, well played. Oh, with that, Dark does take a lead, but it's a best of 3. We still have plenty more ahead of us. We still have plenty more to come. At least another game. At least one, maybe even 2. Upsets have already happened in this tournament, so they could happen again. Meanwhile, hope everyone in the chat is doing well. Shout out to Jeff Bezos, Kong in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. Again, my brain is still waking up. I'm not satisfied with my Castle Max Rack versus Trigger, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We are waking up. I also need some water. Like, again, I literally just woke up and then jumped into the cast. Not fully ready for this. I need some water. I think I'll join the lobby and then I'll quickly go and get something to drink. As game 2 is going to be on site Delta. Is going to be on site Delta. And one moment, I'm going to quickly refill my water. Oh, we're back. We're back just in time as it looks like the lobby is set and we are loading into game number 1. Ooh, sorry, game number 2 between Dark and Epic. And again, big shout to Epic, of course. He has been a little more active in recent months. Did take a bit of a step away from the game earlier in the year in 2023, but he is back with a vengeance, looking to tie up this series, and he needs our help. He needs our support. Because he is up against this player here in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta. We have the red Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player representing side Storm Gaming. It is Epic. Getting into it. We are getting into this here against site Delta. Quite a large map, very spread out bases here. As a result, drop play can really pop off on site Delta if you can get away with it, if you can just kind of wrangle map control away from your opponent. Then we have seen players like Dark even pulled apart left and right just because of how large and how long this map is, how wide it is in a way. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. We'll see if Epic can tie this up. Personally, I would love to see an ace match, but it's going to be on Epic here to climb the mountain that is Dark. As for now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener here from our Zerg player. Getting into this. Behind this, it's going to be standard opener out of Epic as well. So Hatch Gas Pool from Dark. Reaper will be soon moving out across the map. SCV Scout as well, just to once again get a read on the opener of Dark, just to make sure that there is nothing crazy. There is no early pool timing, early gas timing, which Dark has been known to do in the past. So you have to make sure that that's not the case this time. You have to make sure that everything is as it should be. The SCV comes in, does get eyes on that hatchery, gets the hell out of there. we'll be racing back home. Interesting that we don't stick around to delay the third base or anything like that. Reaper's on the way. Last game, Epic did get a kill on one of those drones. That did occur. We'll see if we can do it again. Again, that was a pretty big moment already at the start of the game. In game 1, Dark sneaking out for that third base. Reaper has arrived. And the dance does begin. There we go, just going to be dipping back and forth, dancing with those lings. Again, looking for a drone if possible, but there are 6 lings available. Dark does fend off the Reaper, and Dark will hold. Now that the Queen is out, the Reaper just cannot go in. Behind this, we're getting to our setup as well. We should be seeing a third CC behind this, or we'll see if Epic mixes it up and goes for a more aggressive opener instead. We shall see. And yeah, there it is. Okay, so we don't have a third CC. We do have a starport instead. So a much more aggressive opener out of Epic. He's going to be delaying his third CC by quite some time to get into a 1-1-1 instead. The pressure is going to be on Epic to get damage done. So he's going to have an abundance of Hellions, and he will have faster Banshees this time as well, as he is going for the add-on top. So aggression is on the table here for Epic. We'll see if he can pull Dark apart. Again, last game he did kill some workers, but I mean, Dark's Queen positioning was just on top of everything in game number 1 when it came to the Banshee harass. To be fair, this time it's going to be a little bit faster. We'll see if we commit to something alongside this. We could even go for a Hellbat Banshee push if we so chose to. Epic, he has some options. He does have some options here as Hellions are amassing. Getting into our tech lab on that Rax as well. We should soon be seeing the CC here on the low ground as a part of the wall. And there it is. CC has been revealed to Dark. Dark is aware. Dark going for a slightly faster lair timing. Okay. That was what, like a 4-minute 15-ish lair timing here from Dark. Meanwhile, Hellions, they do dive into the middle line. Oh, they try to. But again, Dark is in position. Does force them back. So we have many lings. Dark, 14 lings, not too bad. He's here in the natural, ready for a dive. As the Queens are being dragged out of position, and Epic, he could try to dive in. Doesn't go for it. Does not commit. Behind this, Banshee production is well underway, but it was all deflected here at the third base. And we do find a couple of drones. 2 workers do go down, and Epic, he goes for the dive. Oh, gets 1 additional worker. 3 drones in total. Not too bad. Pretty good start. Epic, he has been very careful with his Hellion movements. Has not wanted to throw them away. Meanwhile, that 1 Banshee now has a friend. We're going to get up to 2 Banshees dipping into that third. And we're going to be getting a couple of drone kills. 2 workers do go down. And we do back off. Banshees, they will get the... they do take some extra damage, but they do at least survive. Scan into the main base reveals the army composition. It is going to be Ling Bane. Do have 1-1. Do have the fast... Well, we do have the Banshee... Banshee? Baliness as well. Out of Dark. Again, it was a slightly faster lair timing, but, I mean, just rushing into our tech. And, oh my god, we are racing into the infestation bit. Very fast infestation bit here from Dark. Being so greedy. Okay, being very tech heavy here. With this fast pit, we can get into fast adrenal and hive tech. We can rush into ultras. We can rush into infestors. But yeah, very quick here from Dark as he is droning and being quite light here when it comes to his army, when it comes to his lings. And there it is, fast hive. This is a sub 7-minute hive here from Dark. Before we even have bailing speed, before we have 1-1, very fast hive here from our Red Zerg player, and he is getting away with it. I mean, behind this, Epic is building up on 3 bases, don't get me wrong, but he's still not moving out. He's still working on his production, getting into 5 Raxes. Dark should be able to get away with this. So here we go. Double drop from Epic. Moving out across the map. But again, Dark, he is ready for this back at home. He has his Queens, he has his Ling Bane. Oh, good target firing so far out of Epic, but again, he's just dancing here on the edge of creep. He's going to be forced back. The Hive is finishing, and I want to see what this is for. Again, I imagine it's just fast Adrenal. There we go. 2-2s on the way. We're not saving our gases. We could potentially throw down a fast Ultra Cavern, but I imagine Adrenal is going to be on the way here. So Dark just straight up Ling Bane into Ultra. And she's going to be forcing back some of these Lings. Queen's getting in position. Where is the detection though? Oh! Dark is keeping up with Epic, forcing him back. Overseer has arrived. Detection is here, and yeah, these Banshees are going to be forced back. There's that Adrenal in production. So very fast Adrenal here from Dark. And there is that Ultra Cavern as well. Just racing into Ultras. Now for the first push, we will have to rely on Ling Bane. And has Dark been too greedy? Has he teched up too much? Ooh. A lot of Lings do get shaved off. The army is pushing. We have 4 tanks with this. We have Hellbast to support from the early game. As we push out, Dark is going for a massive counterattack. He catches reinforcements. Baileys, they roll into the middle line, and can we escape? Oh no! Getting some deja vu as we get into the middle line, and every SCV goes down. Epic, he is committed. He is committed at this point. We have a push towards the south, we have a push towards the north, and Dark, he is losing bases. He is going to be losing bases here. He is losing ground. He takes down the third base of his opponents, which means Dark can't afford to lose a hatchery. Oh! There we go, we have the drop into the main base so far. Good movement out of Epic. The Queens are keeping up. Do we have transfuse? We have transfuse, we do. We transfuse the Queens. We take down a full medevac as well. Big pickoffs. And Epic, he is being stifled here. He's running out of steam. The Lings of Dark racing back home. He's still up in workers. This hatchery is going to fall. But Dark, he's going to collapse on this position. He's waiting for the army to unsiege. He's waiting for those Ultras. Ultras have arrived. Kindness plating on the way. Oof. Marines are going to get picked off. Marines are rotating over. So far, this position is still heavily fortified, but the longer this goes on, the more Dark has to deal with it. Just lacking detection here, just in case the Banshee does cloak. And yeah, still no reinforcements from Epic. And we are collapsing in this position. Then we have the Ultras, we have the Ling Bane. And we will just swallow up this army. Every single tank goes down. The Marines as well. And Epic, any kind of advantage he had, not really there anymore. He's down in workers. He's down in bases. He just lost most of his army. Behind this, he does have a drop towards the south. He can maybe force a cancel on this 4th. That would be a good move. You can see that Dark is distracted. Drop going to be forced back. And here comes the move out from Epic. And he does force a cancel. Very nice. The Viper. First Viper goes down. Second Viper a little bit exposed as well. So a good move here out of Epic. He's keeping himself in this. He's recovering economically. And even though he's on 3 bases, he's at least denying the 4th. He's keeping Dark on a 3-base economy as well. Dark attempts to double expand, but transfuse. But transfuse here from Dark. We'll be losing a Queen. Detection has arrived. Epic amassing a pretty terrifying army. Now the upgrades are in favor of Dark. He's got 3-3 on the way. Kindness plating is done. We have Ultra Speed in production. Banshee finally goes down. So Duck has the upgrades on his side. Despite that, Epic still has a pretty efficient army. The creep is getting a bit out of hand. We have a lot of creep to work through. Dark, he sees the army. He's getting ready for it. Ultras are repositioning. Liberators have arrived. We have the libs. Yeah, so do you see Dark going straight for the mineral line as well. Gonna be shutting down some SCVs. He's gonna be forcing back the army. He's gonna be slowing down Epic. The Marines! Ooh, big connections. We can damage some of the tanks. The tanks are exposed. And they're all gonna be going down. Vipers, they go for the power bombs here on the Medivacs. Yeah, big engage here from Dark. A nice split with the Medivacs to avoid the parasitic bomb. But there's just too much Ling Bane on the ground. We get on top of the army. The Ultras, they roll on forward as well. And Epic, he's being shut down. He's being engulfed by the Swarm, by Dark. As the Marines and Marauders have been shut down. We get into the mineral line as well. We have Bailings into the natural. GG gets called. And Dark does take game number 2 in the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark as he does take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. Playing in a very risky fashion here in game number 2. Remember, he just raced his way into Hive Tech, into Ultras, and he was kind of punished for it, as Epic was able to take advantage of that and shut down some of the bases. He shut down the 5th, shut down the 4th base. But as Epic was pushing, as he was breaking the economy of Dark, he also lost his own, as Dark was able to go for his own counterattack. And in the midst of all the chaos, Dark was able to take advantage of his Hive Tech, and Epic wasn't able to keep pushing. He denied some bases, yes, but he wasn't able to deal any critical damage, wasn't able to break his opponent. And with that, Dark will take down Epic and advance on into the next round. Meanwhile, we saw earlier a walkover that Cure had. Sorry, the Cure was walkovered, but it looks like he wasn't. It looks like Cure is playing out his games. So the ESL bracket is being updated. There we go. ESL bracket is being updated as we speak. Currently, Cure, he 2-0'd Holden, he 2-0'd Foxer. He's up against Raynor. Let's go. Is up against Raynor at this point. Meanwhile, we have our own series. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. From the very top. From the top, the bracket is well underway. Quickly refreshing. Looks like Clem is mid-series against Pig. Shout out to Pig, he did 2-0 Matt. But Clem is mid-series. Meanwhile, Hero took down Creator 2-1, and Hero is waiting for the winner of Clem and Pig. So waiting for the winner. As we scroll down a little bit further here. Scroll down a little bit further, we have Bjorn. He was able to take down Geralt 2-0. Was able to bring him down 2-0. And we have Bjorn versus Parting in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a fun series. It's going to be a fun TVP. Do look forward to it. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Cure versus Raynor about to begin. I believe Steadfast is casting that series. Steadfast was alongside me covering Epic versus Dark, but we will be splitting up. So Steadfast, he has Cure versus Raynor, and we will have the lower quarterfinals, Max Packs versus Dark. So the tournament is well underway. We have the lower quarterfinals. Steadfast has Cure versus Raynor, and I believe Chicken Man is covering some of these upper matches. I know he was casting Hero versus Creator, and he may be in Clem versus Pig into Hero. So the Koreans and the Europeans are facing off here in the quarterfinals. The regions collide. Do love to see it. Do love to see it. Again, vetoes are underway, and we will be jumping into this. Again, really good matches here overall. I understand the temptation of Cure versus Raynor, but I mean, you know me, I don't really like hopping around the bracket too much. I mean, we casted Max Packs and Trigger, we casted Epic and Dark, and it makes sense for us to follow that narrative into Max Packs versus Dark. I'd rather not hop around. So Steadfast, he can take Cure and Rainer. It's all good. Tis all good. And with that, that means we are going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here. The players are still conducting the vetoes. Once they're done, we're going to be jumping in to Max Packs and Dark. We will be getting there. We will get there. But again, welcome everyone in the chat. I see Fernando in the chat. Hello, Fernando. Tal, ¿cómo estás? And yeah, from here, we will be going on a short break. When we return, we will have Max Packs versus Dark in the quarterfinals. We will see you soon. Take this moment to hydrate Hydra, Search Roaches, massage your Marines, and drain your Disruptors. We'll be back soon with our next matchup. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our third matchup of the night. Hope you took that moment to take a break, to stretch, to hydrate, because we are not stopping here. We keep on going. We are here in the quarterfinals of ESL Open Cup Americas 209, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardland, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming, DKZ. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Europe, representing Storm Gaming. It is Max Packs. Here we go. And here we go as Dark is moving out with a drone, going for a proxy hatchery. And we saw this last night. This is a very much so a trendy thing to do for Dark. If you were here last season, then you would have seen Dark do this almost every ZVP. When I speak out last season, I mean the map pool with Gresvan, Ancient Sister, and Royal Blood. The maps I just mentioned were the maps where Dark would very often go for proxy hatches. This isn't the most committed variation. Ooh, as he's going for a hatch gas pool opener. And it looks like he was trying to fake out. Yeah, he was faking out taking an expansion. But MaxPax, oh, he is slipping into the main base. He does get eyes on the gas. Still unawares as to what's going on. Now, the power behind this proxy hatch is the fact that there is no ramp. There's no ramp coming into the natural base, which means it's that much easier to push into, that much easier to lay siege upon. And Dark is going to be aggressive here. There we go. Drones are being sent out across the map. He is going for some spine crawlers. Spine crawlers here on the low ground. The spawning pool is about to finish as well. For link production, this can either be the Ling Queen variation, or we could throw down a Roach Warren alongside this. I'm feeling a Roach Warren, but we'll see. Stark is committed. Spine crawlers are going to be thrown down. They are on the way. And again, MaxPax, he still hasn't scouted, by the way. He still doesn't know. He sees the spawning pool being taken. He goes to the low ground. He sees the missing hatchery, and he should be aware. He's going to be checking the third base. He checks the third. Confirms it's not there. He'll check the other third as well. He's still piecing it together. He doesn't know. And I guess it's the power of our regions being separated here. So there we go. We have a robo response, but this is a very late response here by MaxPax. Like, Dark, he's known to do this. Like, he did this last night against Hero. Like, he did this in ESL Asia. And even before that, like, this has been in the wheelhouse of Dark and MaxPax unaware. Late reaction, late scout, late response out of MaxPax. The spike crawlers, they push on forward, and they're looking to lay siege upon the wall. The spine crawlers have arrived. Shield batteries, they're so late here for MaxPax. And we are not going roaches, we're going into link speed, and we are flooding links across the map. Gateway taking a lot of damage. The gateway is going to fall, which means we have that much less production. Shield battery is going to get targeted down, and can we get the shield battery in time? Up! We cannot! The shield battery barely survives. As the other shield battery does protect it. Meanwhile, creep is slowly spreading forward. The spine crawlers, they get on top of the cyber core. Warp gate will not finish, but the immortal will. The immortal is going to be finishing up. Link speed has finished. We get on top of the shield battery. Energy is being wasted. We're going for the stalkers. We go for the dive. We get on top of the stalkers. They're out of range of shield batteries, and the stalkers are going to be going down. Boys are being pulled. The immortal has arrived, but we take control of the low ground. Yeah, the natural is compromised. No shield batteries here in the main. We have one immortal and nothing else. One immortal, one stalker. The natural is going down. We're flooding more links across the map. And we are leapfrogging forward with these spine crawlers, looking to get within range of this ramp. Second immortal's on the way. From here, yeah, we're expanding. We're transitioning. We're taking the natural base and we're droning. We're just containing MaxPax to one base. And Dark is just saturating back at home. And what can MaxPax do here? He's going to need an observer to clear up all this creep to eventually expand. And Dark can just heavily drone from here. And there he is. We're droning. We are saturating our bases. Are saturating our bases. We do have our prism on the way, not the observer, so it looks like MaxPax wants to harass across the map. Wise choice. We're setting it. We're going for it. And we'll see if MaxPax can bounce back. He arrives with the immortals. There's nothing to kill as the spine crawlers are waddling across the map. Hatchery is going to eventually go down. Lings, they do come in. Delaying the kill on this hatchery for as long as we can. Again, Dark droning on up, throwing down his Roach Warren. MaxPax still stuck on one base. The observer does arrive, and now we can finally clear up all this creep and expand. It's going to take a while, but we can get there. Meanwhile, double Stargate, Skytoss on the way. I do think this is a really wise choice. Right now, because of the low hatchery count, we don't have a lot of queens. We have a very low queen count for Dark, so going double Stargate Void Ray would do very well against a low queen count Zerg. I'm expecting Void Rays here from MaxPax. We have a Roach Warren on the way, soon to be Roaches, which again will not help against... Oh, not Void Rays, we're going Phoenix? Interesting. I mean, Phoenixes, they are a lot faster. They can get across the map. They can, of course, pick away at the economy, shut down the Overlords. We are amassing Phoenixes back at home, not Void Rays. The hatchery does fall. And Dark has to get a read of what's going on. There we go. He's poised to dive into the main. A big scat here for Dark. A big moment for him. So he is going to be floating on into that main base. And he will get eyes on the Stargates. He will get eyes on the Phoenixes. Does force a cancel? Yeah. Did force a cancel at the natural base, but he did see both Stargates. He didn't see the amount of Phoenixes, but he's aware that they are being produced. And there we go. Spores are on the way. Queens are amassing. And MaxPax will finally try to re-expand. Phoenixes are moving out. Spine crawlers are leapfrogging forward. Do we have enough queens though? That's the question. We have 4 queens. Spire in production. But is 4 queens enough? With the spore we should be okay. Push back with some of the pieces. Lings, they dive in once again, but I feel like we're wasting our Lings here a little bit. We do get the Zealots. We get the Zealot, we get a Stalker. Lings trading well. Surprisingly well. Gain some hull damage on those Immortals before getting the hell out of there. Lings are cleaned up. Lings are going to be cleaned up here. As we see MaxPax trying to gain some value with these Phoenixes, he still hasn't really achieved too much, but he's still making non-stop Phoenixes, plus what air attack is on the way. How many Phoenixes do we have? We have 9 already, soon to be 10. My god. But that's where the Spire comes into play. I believe it hasn't been scouted yet. Looking at the vision, yep, the Spire has not been seen. We get 2 workers in the main. But Corruptors are on the way, and they are the answer to the Phoenixes at the same time. Ooh, Immortal drop here at the 3rd base, getting so much damage done. Hatchery taking a lot of damage. It may be worth repositioning the Spine Crawlers. It may be worth. As the Queens are keeping up with the rotations. Droning underway. Getting into our Corruptor production. You can see MaxPax still trying to stabilize on 2 bases. The 3rd is so late for MaxPax. We're going for the Prism. Prism does go down. I love that we focus on the Prism, not on the Phoenixes. It's a really good move out of Dark. Corruptors are trying to find or trying to catch some of these Phoenixes, and we do. Oh, we got 1. We do get 1 Phoenix. And MaxPax, he's still struggling to recover. Still hyper fixated on Phoenix production, and he does take down a Corruptor. Overcharge is popped. And has Dark overextended? Does he have enough here? He's going to be losing a good chunk of Corruptors. Yeah, good kiting out of Dark overall, but a lot of Corruptors are going to be going down. Good target firing. We're trading pieces for Corruptors, and eventually the Corruptors will be cleaned up. Will be cleaned up. Looking at the units lost, that was 8 for 8, trading 1 for 1. Really good kiting out of Dark overall. And again, Darky has the better economy, so he's going to be able to build up his Corruptors. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he's still recovering. He's going into Void Rays, which will help against the Corruptors. Likewise, we have the Queens to support. Dark amassing 12 more Corruptors. Phoenix is moving out on the right-hand side. You get a couple of drones. I say a couple, 7 workers go down. Very nice damage. Meanwhile, Darky catches the Phoenixes. Does catch the Phoenixes. Dark out positioning MaxPax here. The Queens from one end, the Corruptors from the other. At the same time, though, we do catch a line of drones. 12 workers in total. Nice damage and really good movement out of MaxPax. He does just slip away. He bobs, he weaves, he gets the hell out of there, and now he's taking his third. His third is on the way. Now, Dark, he's unaware of the Void Rays. He is unaware of the Void Rays that are amassing. He has to be very careful with how he engages. As he does spot the Void. He sees. Yeah, he cannot engage. He has to be very careful with his movement here. Void Rays are activating their pulsar beams, their prismatic alignments. I'm loving the engagement here from Dark, forcing the engage even. There's the overcharge, but 2 Phoenixes get picked off. 2 Phoenixes go down. Dark maintaining his economic lead, taking his 4th, joining up to 60. Working on +2 air attack. We have plus on range on the way to support the Queens and to support the Roaches on the ground. MaxPax, he's still on the road here. We are going triple Stargate Mass Void Ray. We should be seeing a Fleet Beacon soon for Void Ray speed. That's the big thing he's lacking. Trading 1 for 1 once again. Oh, it does get a Void Ray, but we can't take this fight. Try to focus down another one of those Phoenixes. Now, up against Void Rays, Mass Corruptor doesn't work on its own. Typically, you do need support, whether it's Infestors or Vipers, Spellcasters, just because Void Rays just melt through Corruptors. Or you could try to make this work and try to force out the Prismatic Alignment, back off, and then come in without that ability. Without Prismatic Alignment, Void Rays, they are not actually ideal against Corruptors. They don't really do that much damage. We're going Corruptor Ravager. Let's go. Ravagers are amassing. Dark is maxed out. MaxPax will try to hold on here. There's that Fleet Beacon that we spoke about, but it may just be too little too late. Again, MaxPax, he has been trying to recover here from the beginning of the game. He has been one step behind after losing that natural, and here we go. Dark is pushing in. Shows the Biles. The Biles, they zone back the Void Rays. And with that, GG gets called. MaxPax cannot take the fight, and Dark will take a 1-0 lead. GG. Very nicely done here by Dark. I appreciate MaxPax going Mass Phoenix, but as we saw, he was able to kill some workers. I think he killed around 16 in total. Around 16 drones in total, which was okay, but that was over the course of the game. And Dark, he had a massive economic lead there. He had so much map control as well, and he was so quick to go into Corruptors. You know, once he got his Corruptors out, the Phoenixes didn't really pose much of a threat. That it couldn't really add much to the army of MaxPax. And MaxPax's transition to Void Rays was there, but was delayed, and a big reason for that was lack of economy, was the fact that MaxPax was stuck on 2 bases for so long, was stuck on 1 base for so long. And as a result, MaxPax from the opener was 1 step behind after losing his natural. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game 2. Going to be on Hecate. Vamonos. Hecate is going to be our map of choice. And we'll see if MaxPax can bounce back. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have our red Zerg player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss, the blue Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. We go. Again, if you're just tuning in, I do see some people filing on forward. Game number 1 started with Dark going for a proxy hatch. He proxy hatched into a Link Flood, and he killed the natural base very early on, and he contained MaxPax to 1 base for so long in that game. And MaxPax was basically on the road to recovery ever since that point, and he just was not able to recover. And from here, Dark going for hatch gas pool. This is something very unique to Dark. Dark, he does go for kind of the fake out drone. He waits for the probe to leave, and then he takes his expansion where he needs to. Drone is moving out across the map. This is looking like a hatch block. A hatch block out of Dark. Shouldn't be a proxy hatch outside. It should be a hatchery block here at the base location. Drone comes in, but the probe is in position. Ooh, and Dark is 1 second too late. Literally 1 second. Wasn't able to get here in time, was not able to block that expansion. And from here, Dark is stuck in the main. He can try to go for a gas steal, but outside of that, Dark pulling a Protoss and trying to force some inefficient mining in the main base. There it is. Gas has been taken. Dark cannot steal it. So overall, a much cleaner start from MaxPax. I mean, he's able to get his natural, and that is more than I can say from what happened in Game 1. So MaxPax is going to be a little more comfortable here in Game 2. We're going to be seeing more of a back and forth, I imagine. And hey, you know, MaxPax, he's the best Protoss in Europe. He can take it to Dark. He can force the ace. I want to believe he can. Do want to believe. As we have our Stargate opener, should be Oracle's first. Should be Oracle into a third for MaxPax. We'll see if he does decide to change things up. As Dark back at home, taking his third base on location, droning up, saturating his natural. Queens are coming out. And we're, just getting into our game. We're getting into Hecate. And again, this time we're going to be able to sink our teeth into this game. This time MaxPax won't be having a, won't be stumbling out the gates with the openers. He is going to be moving out with his first adept. Just getting some scouting information. Getting across the map. As the upside do shade into the main base. So far, we do get a couple of worker kills as well. We commit to the shade. We get into the main base. 2 drones go down. Can we get a third? We can. 3 workers for 2 adepts. A good trade. A good trade here from MaxPax. Now, the downside is upon losing these adepts, that means that Dark has map control. Dark can counterattack, and Dark can delay the third base of MaxPax. Meanwhile, the Oracle is going to be diving in, threatening that natural. Queens are in position, and Dark will zone away that Oracle. There's the expansion, and here are the links to stop it. Oh, but the second Oracle comes out just in time. The Oracle does arrive. Lings are forced back. Behind this, we have a very fast Twilight Council. This is looking like Glaive Adepts. There's a Twilight Council before Expand. 2 more gateways. This screams Glaives, and we'll see if that's the case. 4 gateways in total. Meanwhile, across the map, 2 drones went down to this Oracle. Evo Chamber is spotted. This is going to be +1 melee. Ooh, which means we're delaying the Roach Warren. Dark is delaying the Roach Warren, which is scary because, as we mentioned before, it is Glaive Adepts. And Dark does not have the best army to deal with this. Without Roaches, without Banelings, Glaive Adepts, they can get out of hand and out of control. Lings go for a counterattack. They do get on top of the Adept. The Adept will go down. Good pickup. A good pickup here from Dark. But +1 melee and Massling is designed to get into Hydras ideally. And MaxPax, he may just get out of hand with this. Dark, the last thing on his mind is Glaives, and he's not prepared. You don't need Roaches, but if you don't have Roaches, you need the other thing, which is Banelings. You need one or the other, Roaches or Banelings. Without either, these Glaive Adepts, they're gonna wreak havoc. As Adepts, they do throw in the base. There we go. Roach Warren is on the way. It's a late Roach Warren, but it is in production, which means we will have something to deal with those Adepts. As they are moving out across the map, they have been spotted. Dark, he sees, he knows, but can he get Roaches in time because Roach Warren is still halfway done? And MaxPax is getting ready for his dive. Now, there's not too many Adepts. It's going to be 9 in total, as opposed to the 15 that we usually have, or something along those lines. Adepts, a shade into the middle line. Queens are in position. One Queen is going to go down. Ling's chasing the shade. And we're focusing on drones. We cancel the shade. 4 workers go down. For 5 drones in total. But again, this wasn't a big commitment out of MaxPax. I was surprised he only made 9 Adepts. Oh, here come a couple more. Couple more Adepts do trickle on in, and 9 drones go down. We shade into the natural. Can we get a 10th? Oh, we cannot. 9 drones for 16 Adepts, or to be fair, 13. 13 Adepts did go down. Not the best trade out of MaxPax. There was potential. There was a lot of potential with his attack, but again, he didn't really commit too hard to the Adepts. As a result, he's going to be falling a little bit behind. I say a little bit just because MaxPax does have a good economy, but tech-wise, there we go. Blink is now on the way. +1 is on the way. These upgrades have been delayed in favor of Glaives. And Dark has some droning to do. Dark, he needs to heavily drone. He has to catch up in the economy as he works towards +2. +2 melee on the way. Stark gonna rotate around, sees the third base, and does back off. And we're going double robo. We're going double robo. Colossus production behind this here. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax is gonna be building up a death ball of an army. And we're gonna be pushing soon. We're gonna be hitting a timing with Blink +1 and our Colossus. Our Colossi even. Meanwhile, Dark has droned up to 71. But as he drones up to 71, Adepts, they come back in. We get 3 more drones. Dark still stabilizing. Hive is on the way. Dark moving out. Now, I love how active he's being with these Lings. He's forcing MaxPax to stay at home. He's forcing MaxPax to take a more defensive position. 4th base is on the way. MaxPax, he's defending. He's turtling. He's waiting for his 4 Colossi. Basically, this is a big power spike with 2 Colossus and then 4 Colossus. Right now, we're on 1. But once we hit critical mass of Colossus, then we can move out. We're getting there. Behind this, we have our upgrades on the way, +1 Carapace. Hive is done. We have Adrenal looking at the vision here. We have seen both Robos, which means we need Vipers. Vipers more than anything. We have the Ultra Cavern on the way, which is nice and all, but again, it's not going to help too much when it comes to the first push. And here we go. MaxPax is pushing. The army is revealed, and Dark, I don't think he's quite ready for this. He has some Lings and Roach. He has Ling Roach Ravager, no Bailings. Adept's going to be threatening a shade. The army pushing forward. We're looking for a cancel on this hatchery. Oh, the stasis. It does get triggered by 2 Lings. But again, Dark, he can't fight this head on. Not right now. Meanwhile, MaxPax denies the hatchery. He backs off. He respects the positioning of Dark. Dark has maxed. He's working on kindness plating. Dark threatening a counterattack. Does have eyes on the 4th base. He is aware. And he can threaten to dive into the natural. There we go. The wall is a wall. Dark gonna have to retreat. Doesn't find a way in. And good splits here from MaxPax. He has 3 Colossi with his main army. He has 1 here to defend that fringe base. Dark is getting ready for the dive. He's in position. Meanwhile, the Ultra Cavern is done. Adepts shade in for a 3rd time. dealt with. We have Kindness Plating on the way. Bailey, this is what we were missing. This is so late. Bailey Nest now on the way. To help support those lings. Meanwhile, Max Pack's a bit out of position. We do take down a couple of buildings. A pylon, a stalker, not much else. Dark is forced back. Again, he's just buying time for the rest of his tech. Kindness Plating is done. Now we have Ultra Speed. Bailey Nest is finishing. Dark ready for so many backstabs. So many pushes. He does come in just in time for some of these probes. Workers, they will go down. At least some of them. At the same time, the Lings, they get caught out. When Dark actually going for a run by here after the third base instead, but we are in position. Yeah, the Lings, they have to retreat. The Ultra about to reveal itself as well. Oh, bit of mispathing there out of Dark. Yeah, he does lose a lot of Lings. At the same time, the natural base has been broken, and Dark does bust in. He busts into the main base. Cannons are going to be shut down. We do have some Zealots, but that may just not be enough. And the Lings, they get into the mineral line. 13 probes go down. 15. We do take down the economy. Damage is finally done. Dark coming back in. Takes out the gateway. A High Templar. Big pickoff. Gets High Templar at the same time coming in with his ultras, but Max Pax is in position. Dark trying to pull Max Pax apart, and he almost did. Max Pax is holding. Oh my god, big swipes going off. Stasis Trap shuts down some of these things, but not the ultras. Yes, we are breaking this northern base. At the same time, the Colossus are busy with the Roach Ravager. They break the Roach Ravager, but the ultras, they're trying to get into the middle line. Desperately. They barely can. Oh, we have more ultras pushing towards the third base as well. And we catch some Immortals. Big pickoffs. I mean, in the midst of all this chaos, Max Pax is falling apart. We catch it. We catch a Colossus as well. Chaos is doing in every single base. It looks like, oh, Max Pax, he will hold. He will force Dark back. But overall, Max Pax, he lost 17 probes. He's down in economy. He lost his Immortals. He did maintain his Colossus though. That's important. With these Colossi, it can of course be safe against the Lings, but he needs the Immortals for the Ultras. As you can see, double Immortal production. His Immortal count was almost reset, but now he's building back up. And after losing all those units, Max Pax, he's still stuck at home and still hasn't gotten a fifth. He's been trying this entire time, desperately trying to expand, but hasn't been able to. Oh, the wall's not a wall. The Lings, they're getting in. Oh, just barely do not. Some of them do. The warp in just in time. At the same time, we have Bailey's waddling in. No bailing speed. Oh. We need bailing speed, Fappy. 7 workers go down. Damage was still done. Not ideal. But damage was done nonetheless. Bailey's they waddle into the base. They take down some of these zealots. Take down the gateway. At the same time, Ultra's pushing in, but this is an expensive counterattack. The Ultra's going to be going down. A very expensive loss here for Dark. Dark burning through his gas. Like, Dark, he has 80 workers. That is true. He has a good economy, but he doesn't have a lot of gas to work with. He is lacking gases. As Ultras, they get caught out again. Losses that Dark can't really afford right now. Meanwhile, Max Pax will finally take a 5th base. He takes the center base here towards the north. Dark he sees. And how does he respond here? Okay, he ignores the center base. He wants to shut down this army instead. He's setting up for a surround. Ultras, they threaten the south. Yeah, we're trying to collapse on this army. Good storms here on the Ultras. Yeah, good position, good kiting. At the same time, Lings, they go in for a run by. They take down some of the stack defense. And the Ultras, they're breaking in. They do break into the base. At the same time, Ultras, they run into the main army. Oh, a couple of Ultras will be going down. But the Lings, they get into the mineral line. Good hold position micro. The ultras in the main base go cleaned up. We're still making 5 more ultras behind this. Again, these are expensive trades for Dark. Even though, like, he's up in economy. He almost killed the bait. Oh my god. The Nexus is getting very low. Max is down to 41 workers, but he has a larger army. That's the thing. Max is super maxed. Essentially, low economy, but we make up for that with a larger army supply. And Dark still hasn't been able to touch these Colossi. They've been alive the entire game. They have so many kills. 39, 23, 57. But has Max overextended. The Ultra's collapsing on this position. We catch the Archons. The Archons, the Immortals. Finally, Dark taking a good fight here with the army. At the same time, Max going for a massive counterattack. The Ultras are pushing in. They're trying to break through here, and it looks like, again, good choke point from Max. The base is going to be going down, and Max is going for a base trade. Or he's going all in. Bases are falling left and right. We have a lot of Archons with this army. Dark, can he ever deal with this? Can he deal with this as, again, he takes down the third, going for the fourth. The natural has been broken. We have a Zealot counterattack here towards the right-hand side. And Max, he may be able to pull this off, forcing a recall. Up. The Archons are recalled back home. Oh god, but 23 probes have gone down, and the Ultras are here. This recall, it was not it. The Colossus goes down. The Ultras, they reign supreme. This recall, it may have saved the base, but we lost a lot of the army. The Archons, they're racing back home as well, what little was left behind. He will deal with these Ultras. He will clean them up. And as the dust does settle, what do we have to work with? We still have a lot of tech alive for Dark. We have a lot of tech, but Dark, he can't throw this away. The Archons, they're trying to keep up. Ultras, they get into the main base. The probes are going down. We barely have any workers left. We have 16 probes. The swipes. 9 probes go down. Big losses here for Max. At the same time, a Link counterattack takes down the Nexus as well. Max is being pulled apart left and right. He cannot keep up with the movement here of Dark. Max is down to 2 bases remaining. He's down to 2 mineral patches. He has no economy. Not anymore. And Dark, he has bases mining. He has 3 hatcheries up and running. He has his tech still alive. Even if it's bleeding out, he still has it. He can produce all the Lings, all the Ultras. Vipers are finally on the way. We needed these Vipers earlier. They would have been great like 10 minutes ago. Would have made things so much easier, but regardless, they're on the way. Meanwhile, Max he comes across one of the mining bases here of Dark. Dark, he has to evacuate. He's amassing an army. How many Ultras do we have? Sorry, how many Ultra? We have 1 Ultra against 8 Archons. We catch a Viper. We do catch a Viper. The Lings, they ignore the natural. They go straight for the main. Max all in. There's no turning back. Not anymore. The main base is gonna fall. But those are Lings that are not defending back at home. And Dark, he just lost 1 mining base. He's gonna lose another. Like, we cannot engage. The Archons are too much. 1 Archon goes down. The transfuse! We keep the Ultras alive! Big yoink as well. GG gets called, and Dark will take the series 2-0, knocking Max out. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Dark as he takes the 2-0 and takes down a Max. Eliminates him from the tournament. GG. GG, well played. Game 1 was a little bit shaky. Again, I do think game 1 comes down to Max not being familiar with the style of Dark, and again the proxy hatch caught Max completely off guard, and he was caught with his pants down. Here in game number 2, I do think there was a lot of potential with the Glaive Adepts. Remember, the Glaives did damage, but we only warped in 9, only 9 Adepts. And I do think there was potential for more damage if Max had committed. If he had committed a little bit more, to his glaives, As a result, he kind of traded 1 for 1, and he needed a little bit more. As a result, MaxPax, he was overwhelmed eventually. He was overwhelmed, and Dark was able to take full advantage of MaxPax. Initially, MaxPax was doing a really good job defending on 4 bases, but MaxPax, as soon as he tried to take a 5th, as soon as he tried to establish a 5th base, bam, Dark was in every single base, in the natural, in the 3rd, in the 4th, at the 5th. Just constant run-bys, constant counterattacking. And even though Dark was bleeding out a lot of ultras, that is true, he was bleeding out a lot of ultras, MaxPax was not touching the economy of Dark at all. He didn't have the room, he didn't have the breathing room to counterattack, to harass the mineral lines, because he was stuck at home keeping up with the movement of Dark. Keeping up with the aggression of Dark. MaxPax was stuck at home, and Dark was taking advantage of that. GG. GG, well played. Solid series there, and with that, we are getting into our semifinals. Dark advances on into the next round, where he's going to be facing off against Raynor. Raynor did take down Cure 2-0 in a ZVT, and now we have a ZV. Actually, I don't know. Interesting. So I was gonna say we should be seeing a ZVZ, but it is known that like Raynor's, he's spoken about this before. Like, he doesn't like ZVZ, he's not fond of it, and he is willing to play Protoss against Zerg to avoid the ZVZ matchup. But I don't think that's a good idea against Dark. I think Raynor, he can play a good like late game PVZ. Like his late game Protoss is solid. I mean, it's Skytoss, like Raynor, he can use his Skytoss well. But Dark is a really aggressive player, and I think against a more passive Zerg that favors Raynor, like we've seen Raynor beat Solar, and I think Solar is a good example. Like Solar, he's the polar opposite of Dark, where Solar's a little bit more macro oriented. But Dark is more aggressive, and he's not gonna let you. He's not gonna let you get into that kind of game. Not gonna let you get into that kind of game. So do we play Protoss or do we play Zerg? That is the question. It looks like everyone is filing into the upper semifinals. It looks like both semifinals are about to begin. We have Parting versus Clem in the upper semis, and we have Raynor versus Dark in the lower semifinals. And it looks like literally everyone is jumping on Parting versus Clem, which makes sense. There's a lot of hype around Parting and Clem right now, and we are the only ones casting Raynor and Dark. That's crazy. It's crazy, man. I think we were the only ones casting Dark and MaxPax as well. Yeah. All these casters following the hype, shaking my head. But here we go. We have confirmation. It is a ZVZ. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Basilisk. It is Raynor. Here we go. Is going to be a ZVZ between Dark and Raynor. Not a ZVP. He's not playing Protoss. We have confirmation. And if you're in the chat, predictions will be open, so you can place your bets on how you think this series does unfold and where you think this does take us. There we go. Predictions are open. Place your bets in the chat for how you think this series goes. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Predictions open. Here we go. live on YouTube to God. Ha. Just letting our players know. They all play each other so much that they ask each other who's behind on red to win these tournaments? Nope. Why would they? That's kind of weird. Why would you imply match fixing? As we are getting into this. We are getting into our game. And so far, Dark is going for a Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool opener out of Dark. Likewise, a mirrored opener out of Raynor. Mirrored opener out of Raynor here. Hatch Gas Pools all around. And a lot of this is going to come down to the third base timing. Whether we take a third, whether we stay on two bases, whether we delay or even skip the Baleen Nest and go right into Roaches. And whether or not our players do drone. Like, the early game should be pretty standard between both Dark and Raynor. It's about the mid game where deviations apply and where aggression unfolds. So it is. Dark is taking that expansion, taking his third. And likewise, so is Raynor. So no one is playing two base. We are loading into hard lead. It's quickly speaking about the map. Very short rush distance by ground. A very aggressive map here. Doesn't take too long at all to get across the map as the links have arrived. Baleen Nest is on the way from Dark and from Raynor as well. We are keeping up with each other. We are still mirroring each other here as we get into our third base economies. Both players going to be droning. And it's going to be on Raynor to make sure he keeps up with the ling count, with the drone count of his opponent, because Dark, he's amassing lings. We have 16 lings on the way. Raynor going for a much faster roach run behind the mineral line. So Raynor going to be racing into roaches after the ling aggression. Both players are amassing ling bane. Both players are going to be in each other's faces. Here we go. So the aggression has begun. Balings are on the way for Dark. We have some safe... No, sorry. Balings across the map for Raynor as well. They're not at home. Raynor, he comes across the Balings, and he will deny one of them at least. Oh, could have denied more. Wasn't aware of how much production or how far along they were. And here we go. Raynor going for the natural base. Likewise, Dark committing across the map as well. Drones are forced off the middle line. Queen is going to be shut down. The Balings, they waddle in. Likewise, Dark getting across the map, but we have units to defend back at home. And Dark is in some trouble. The splits! How much can we get? So far, the splits are looking good. The Balings are going for the drones. They connect. 8 workers go down. Big connections here for Raynor at the same time across the map. Dark, he's not achieving anywhere near as much damage. The Queens hold. The Roaches have arrived, and Dark falls back. And Dark falls behind. Dark, he's down to 21 drones. He lost far too much, and he has all this Ling Bane that he can't do anything with. He does catch a couple of Lings. Does connect a decent connection with that Baling. But back at home, we have Roaches. Back at home, Raynor, he is in position. He keeps the Queens alive. And Dark, he can't really do much. Dark, he's all in. Yeah, he's pulling back home. He's amassing Lings, and Raynor is droning. Raynor, he's droning up. He's taking his economic lead. He's extending it. He's expanding on it. Roaches have been revealed. Raynor reinforcing. And Dark, he avoids the army. Does he have enough at home to defend? I don't think he does. Raynor in full control of this game. He has Balings back at home to defend. The Lings, they do nothing. And Raynor backs off. Remember, Raynor, he was droning. He never intended to attack. He never intended to go all in. Raynor, he's just saturating his bases, walling up, pulling back. The move out was a fake out from Raynor. The Balings! Decent connection. Decent connection from Raynor. Ooh, likewise, a better connection from Dark. And Dark, he's hoping to catch these Roaches. Do we have any Balings to defend? We have one. And we have good positioning as well. Yeah, good positioning here with these Roaches. The Baling will finish. Dark, he may be able to get a kill on the third base. Third is going to be going down. Balings, they waddle in. They want the drones, and they will not get them. Good target firing out of Raynor. The Roaches, they do hold. They clean up the Lings. Balings are waddling in, desperately so. We need to get into the middle line, and we barely do. But only one Baling, and one Baling is not good enough. Ooh. 6 drones go down. More Lings are flooding across the map. Again, Dark, he's completely all in with this. The longer this goes on, the worse it is for Dark. He did get a kill on the third base. Dark is droning, but he has a lot of recovering to do. Dark, he is in a rough position. There are Bailings on top of the ramp. Raynor, he will defend. And again, Dark back at home, he's droning his heart out, but he's down 25 drones. He has half the worker count of Raynor. Now Raynor is oversaturated, but still, like Raynor, he has a booming economy. He's getting into more roaches. Like I don't see how Dark comes back from this. Not like this. He needs to somehow cripple the worker count. If he can get into a mineral line, then sure, then we can come back. We have to get into a mineral line, we have to kill some workers. There's a lot of pressure on Dark right now. Maybe rushing into a Spire, but there's no lair tech. Speaking of, Raynor, he has a lair. He's up in upgrades, working on +1 range. Rebuilding his third. Dark still trying to hold on. Now he's getting into his own Roach One, his own tech. And we'll see if Dark can recover. Now again, because the space has been killed, it means that Dark has a comparable economy, but no gases. No gases here for Dark. It just means that he's going to be perpetually behind in the roaches. And here we go, we're pushing. And this is meant to be the death march. The kill move from Raynor. He's moving out. At the same time, Lings, they catch some reinforcements. We're going for a counterattack, but we have Bailings to defend. Yeah, we have plenty of Bailings in position. GG gets called. There's no pushing in, and Raynor will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, from the very beginning of the game, basically the moment that Raynor had won was when Dark missed the army, when both armies missed each other, and Raynor got into the main base of Dark. He crippled the economy, and Raynor didn't take any economic damage of his own. From that moment onwards, Dark was on the back foot and could not keep up. Could not recover from that position. Raynor did a great job taking into roaches behind it, walling off, preserving his workers, and defending against the Ling Bane aggression of Dark. Dark was all in. And with that, Raynor takes the lead. He is up 1-0 in the semifinals. He is 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. One more game is all he needs. Here we go. Meanwhile, Dark has to win this game to force the ace match. I would love to see an ace match between these two players, but we'll see. We'll see if Dark can pull this off. We'll see if he can come back in this best of 3. Here we go. As we're loading into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming down in this series, looking to fight back. Can he do so? Can we pull off an ace match? It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. Very fond of this opener, going for a 15-15. We have the Blue Zerg player representing Team Basilisk. It is Raynor. Here we go. So it's going to be a 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. A relatively safe way to open up. And this should be leading into 2-base Roach. Should be, but we'll see. So basically the facets of this opener, of this build from Raynor is... we go for a 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, which means the gases are delayed, but the pool is earlier, the hatchery is earlier, which means we can get earlier queen production, and we can drone heavily behind this. We typically skip Lings. We skip our Lings with this opener. We just drone with delayed gases. It's usually not worth investing into Ling speed, and we can wall off and go into and get into Roach production instead. That's where this build usually takes us. We'll see if Raynor decides to invest into Ling speed. If so, he could try to fake out his opponents and try to fake out 2-base Roach and go for a Ling Flood that has killed Dark before. I'm always brought back to DRG versus Dark from a month or two ago, where DRG was able to take down Dark time and time again by Ling Flooding and Dark being caught off guard. So we'll see how Raynor does approach this. Again, Dark already mining gas with a standard opener, Raynor just now getting into his own. So hatch gas pool out of Dark, standard economic opener. Again, Raynor going for something a little bit different. I mentioned before, remember, that Raynor, he is skipping Lings. Like with this build, you go into fast queens, you skip Lings, and you just drone. You just drone as hard as you can. Dark playing standard. It's going to be playing standard from here, investing into Ling speed, of course. And Dark will soon get a read on what's going on. Will soon recognize the build of choice from Raynor. So we are settling into this. Lings are moving out for a scout. Dark moving across the map. Likewise, we have a third and fourth queen on the way. And again, we should be walling off here on 2 bases. Especially without any Lings here, it is just so difficult to take a third. So Dark should be taking a third, and Raynor should be staying on 2 bases. I mentioned before that this typically leads into 2-base Roach, but we are getting Ling speed. Okay. Ling speed is on the way. We'll see if Raynor takes a third, or if he does wall off. The wall is on the way. So, I do really like this from Raynor. Basically, he's faking out 2-base Roach. I mean, it could still be 2-base Roach, but again, typically when you play this kind of style, we're hiding the tech. It is going to be a Bane bust. So, Raynor, he's faking out 2-base play, and we're going for a hidden Bane bust here. Bailey Nest behind the mineral line. Ling speed on the way. Raynor trying to catch Dark off guard. At the same time, Dark, he is massing Lings. Dark going for his own aggression. Is moving out across the map. Again, Dark, he wants to try to break his opponent, wants to try to get on top of these queens. The wall has been thrown down. Once again, revealing the Roach Warren. Faking out Roach play. When it's anything but the Lings are going to surround. The Roach Warren does go down. The Lings, they flood in, but alas, the rest of the Lings have been revealed. Dark doesn't quite get the surround he was looking for. Trades well against these Lings. Does get eyes on the would-be third. And sure, he cancelled the Roach Warren, but Raynor doesn't care. Because Raynor's going for a Bane bust. And here we go, Raynor going for a massive counterattack. And Dark doesn't have a Baneling Nest. Why? Because he believed it was Roaches. He didn't believe he would need a Baneling Nest. And now Dark is on the back foot. He's going to have to defend with purely Lings and Queens. No Banelings for Dark. Banelings are on the way for Raynor. That's going to be a big tech advantage that Raynor has. Dark kind of faked out here. He is faked out. There we go. Bailey's going to be waddling in. Dark catching reinforcements, but here comes the army. We do have a wall. A solid wall here from Dark, but he gives up the third. This third should go down. It should go down. Queens are coming out. Raynor trying to get on top of this. If the Queens overextend, they will be surrounded. Meanwhile, Dark still catching reinforcements. The third base is going to be saved. Dark, he comes back home. Does come back home. So far, no big Baneling connections yet. And Roaches should soon be on the way. Will we get on top of the third? Can we save it? Can we save it here for Dark? Oh, we cannot. No transfuse. The hatchery goes down. But Dark does hold on to his drone count. Now, we need to take a moment here. Things have been very chaotic. Things have been very intense. We see Raynor backing off. Dark starting up Roach production. Remember, he started the earlier upgrades with +1 carapace, so Dark will have better upgrades. He has a decent worker count. He did lose his hatchery that he has to rebuild, and Raynor has a faster third. Raynor has a higher drone count. So Raynor, he has the better economy. Dark will have the better army. With those upgrades, Dark, he will have a very strong 1-1 Roach timing. And right now, the pressure is on Dark to get some economic damage done here. As he gets across the map, he does slip in. Overlords were not in position. Raynor, he misses this. Queens are going to be going down. We get one queen. Oh, only one. We get a queen with deny gas. Raynor coming in for the surround. Does force Dark back. Oh, the Bailey. Oh no, the Bailey. It's coming in. Dark, he does avoid it, just barely. Good movement there with the Roaches. But there's a lot of Lings for looking for a surround. Raynor, he wants the Roaches. He wants them. Oh, and he's going to get them as well. Big loss here for Dark, trading minerals for gas. Trading gas for minerals. Lings, they get into the mineral line. Banelings are here. We get 2 workers, and the Roaches, most of them go down. Plus transfuse. Up, up. Oh my god, we're barely out of range. We cannot transfuse. The Roaches go down. The creep just wasn't close enough. Of course, Queens, they can't transfuse off of creep. So big pick off. Looking at the units lost tab, that was 6 roaches. 6 roaches going down. Dark, who should have had the roach advantage, no longer does. Meanwhile, Raynor, he has the better economy. He has the higher drone count. Still. And Dark is falling behind. Dark, he is falling behind. Raynor is catching up in upgrades. Dark may have faster +1 carapace, but in Roach v Roach, carapace is not the most important upgrade. The range upgrades are. There we go. +2 range on the way. Raynor, foregoing +2 range of his own, is going to fall behind with his +2 timing. That could be a big moment for Dark, as Dark is redroning, resaturating. He'll be resaturating his bases. As roaches are waddling out. A massive roach army, a death ball. 38 roaches to the 17 of Dark. Raynor, this may just be too much. Now, there are queens to transfuse, bear that in mind, but Raynor, he has an overwhelming army. He's up in army supply. He's looking to break through this third base, and it's just a numbers game at this point. Dark does not have enough. Raynor coming in with a death bull of an army, and he will push his way through the queens, through the roaches. The boys are being pulled. It's not going to be enough. And Raynor is looking to make his way into the finals, into the next round. He's looking to win it all. 14 drones go down, and there are still just too many roaches here. GG gets called, and Raynor will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the finals. GG. GG well games. The mind games from Raynor worked very well here again, going for a 15-15. Remember, getting into Ling speed, hiding the Baneliness as well, faking out 2-base Roach, and with that, Raynor, he was able to get a kill on the hatchery, was able to trade well against the Lings, was able to cause a lot of chaos, and take his own expansion behind it. Get ahead in the economy, playing really well with the build, with the mind games, and catching Dark completely off guard. Very well done. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations, Raynor does advance. On my condolences to Dark, he had a really good run. Again, Dark, he had a really strong performance against Max Packs, did take down Max Packs 2-0, but here against Raynor, ZVZ can be very chaotic, and this ZVZ was almost decided in the early game. Like both games, remember, game 1, Raynor was able to bypass Dark's army, and he was able to cripple the economy really early on with his Ling Bane, and Dark was just behind from there. Here in game 2, similar, where I say similar, here in game 2 there were more layers to it, just because Raynor was showing one thing and doing something else. Did catch Dark with his pants down, and Dark was just woefully underprepared for the army. Remember, Dark skipped his Bailey Nest because he believed he wouldn't need it, because he believed it was roaches, which is why when Dark killed the Roach Warren, he thought he would be in a better position than he really was. And Raynor was able to take advantage of that. Was able to take advantage of Dark. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We are getting ready here for the grand finals. I say that the upper semifinals is currently underway. I believe Clem versus Parting are mid-series. Are they in game 1, 2, or 3? Let me just double check here. They're in game 2. Clem is up 1-0, which means up next we will either have Clem versus Raynor in the finals, or we will have Clem versus Parting game 2. We'll have one or the other. We will prepare for that. There we go. I'll do this for now. Raynor versus TBD. TBD. And I will... Wait, hold on here. TBD. Bam. Raynor will be playing someone in the finals. Will not be a mirror matchup. We know that much. And I'll get ready for Clem versus Parting game 2. Bam. So again, currently Clem versus Parting, they're in game number. Game number 3. They're currently in game number 2. They are being covered by everyone else, and they just finished. Oh. They just wrapped up. What is the score? Here we go. It looks like Clem took down Parting 2-0, which means up next, Clem versus Rainer. We are hopping over to the European server. We're hopping over to EU. Oh. We're hopping over to the European server. And we are hopefully not going to be missing anything here as we get ready for the grand finals. Here we go. Un momento. And I will be getting those predictions ready. Predictions will be set up for the finals. Rainer versus Clem. Bam. Okay. We'll get that going momentarily as we all just file into the European server. And I may be joined by a fellow co-caster here. We shall see. We shall see. Just reaching out. We're going to be joining forces here. Coming together. We'll see. We shall see. Again, vetoes are currently underway, and we are going to be diving into this. Oh, we will be joined by a fellow foul. I'll be joined by Chicken Man in the finals. Chicken Man SC. Bam. Beautiful. Just setting up all of our overlays. Casters. Chicken Man. Bam. Beautiful. Where is he? Here we go.
Hello, Poppy.
Hello, Papi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh my god, a 2-in-1 day. How have you been? How's your broadcast been, Chicken Man? How's it been so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I think I've cast about 1 million TVPs.
What players did you go through? What matches did you have?
Let's see. Yeah, ask me what I cast. Do you think I remember that?
You're like, mate, that was a solid hour ago. You think I remember? You think? Do you understand what all that partying did to my brain with Rainer? Do you?
Dude, that's the least of my worries. Let's see. Well, Clem versus Hero. Also did Creator Hero, so got some PvP.
Nice.
Had a few PvPs today. Clem versus Pig. Pig played Protoss, so that was a TVP.
Mm-hmm.
God, I don't even remember what I cast earlier today. It's so long ago. I have to like scroll through the bracket and see what happened.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. It you know, we don't have the memory that like we used to. We're not young like we used to be back in the day.
I never had the memory. It's been this is not something new.
Like, mate, I know what you're talking about. It was never there, Poppy. It's always been gone.
Yeah. No. Listen, I don't know what Roddy has where he can remember every single match that has ever been cast in StarCraft ever. I have the opposite of that.
Okay.
I don't even remember what I cast today. I'm like genuinely, I'm looking through this like, what was I casting earlier?
You're like, he's crazy. He's doing something I've never seen before. It's 3cc. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh
Wild. God. Wow.
He's making 1 Rex, 1 factory, and 1 starport. What should we call this? I think.
It's of course the Destiny Cloudfist build.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope your games have been good. You were covering Parting and Clem, right? That you remember?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. In
yeah.
fact, I do remember that.
There you go.
That was quite good. I'm sad I didn't get to see Parting defeat Beyond. That's an impressive result for Parting.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'll be honest. Like,
Me too.
Parting, he's been back for like a month or something, and he's been popping up every now and then, like in KSL or in ESL Asia, and
I don't even know if he played in ESL Asia, did he? At least not last night, I don't think.
Yeah, well, yeah, not last night. Not, not last night.
I don't think he's played in much at all. I'm gonna go check the Illegal on that, but yeah, I mean, for just coming back, he lost to Coffee in that KSL.
Yes.
And then coming in here beating Beyond, I mean, that's a kind of a statement.
100%. I was really shocked. I hope someone casted that. I hope someone was on that series, but yeah, that is wild and really impressive. And how did he look against Clem?
It was a little rough against Clem. The first game, Clem did this thing called building cyclones.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Parting's shield battery was like 12 seconds late, so he just died.
Yeah.
It was a bit unfortunate. Game 2 was a lot closer.
Mm-hmm.
Clem still felt in control for most of the game, but like there was a lot of good moves from Parting, a lot of potential there. I can see how he could take down a player like Beyond for sure. But Clem's like the best Terran in the world right now, so
yeah.
Tough. It's a tough one.
100%. So it's one of those things where, hey, Parting may be back, but he's literally up against the best Terran, so it can be hard looking good against Clem. So yeah, with that, Clem of course has made it into the finals. We were lucky enough to cast Reina versus Dark in a ZVZ. I was curious if is Reina gonna play Protoss? Is he gonna off race?
Ooh.
But played
no, not against Dark.
Yeah,
I feel like you can't do that against against Serral. I think he can get away with it because he
100%.
knows Serral so well. But I feel like if Dark is better than you, you lose. Pretty much all the time.
That's usually how games go. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Raynor has to play Zerg against that.
100%.
Dark won't mess around. Raynor has to be confident that he can hold any amount of roaches at any given point in the game to play Protoss against Dark, and that's just so hard.
Yeah, 100%. Like we casted Dark against Max Packs as well, and Dark he like proxy hatched Max Packs all in and killed Max Packs. Like it was not. Yeah.
Literally only Dark can do that to Max Packs.
Yeah. It was just hyper aggression out of Dark, and when it came to the ZVZ, it was a lot of mind games. Like Raynor, he faked out like 2-base Roach and went for like a Ling Bane all in, and just hyper aggression out of Raynor. And Dark was caught off guard more often than not, and yeah, Raynor he came out on top, and now he's here in the finals.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good finals. This is like a classic finals. I'm feeling like 2020 vibes here. Excited for this one, but it's kind of a reversal from back in those days when we saw these guys against each other all the time. Because back then, the Zerg, I would say, was the heavy favorite, winning all the big tournaments. But now, we're hot off the back of DreamHack Atlanta, and the winner of that is spawning in the upper left-hand corner. It is none other than Team Liquid's Clem.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Italy representing Team Basilisk. It is Raynor.
He is indeed deciding not to play on his main name account because he hates us.
Well, this is his new account. Have you seen Raynor? Have you seen him recently?
Oh yeah, he's got his his frosted tips there.
You say tips,
Bleach
it's his
hair.
entire head. His entire head is white. It's crazy.
I just wanted to say frosted tips because of Jack Frost.
It's true.
Yeah, the bleached hair. I mean, it's a look for him, you know? It's a good look.
Yeah, I was really shocked where he like it was after Atlanta where he just randomly rocked up. We saw him in WTL and he like Atlanta did one to him, mate. I don't know what you guys did to him over there in Atlanta after the tournament, but yeah, he's He's lost his color in his hair. It's all white. It's
We brought him to the 90s is what we did, you know, and he was like, I have to bleach my hair now. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for when it does become frosted tips, which is when it grows out a bit and he has the dark roots and then he trims it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I really hope that he gives us like, I want to see spiked hair, frosted tips Rainer.
Oh my god.
Because he has the chance to do that.
Yep.
And I hope he doesn't miss it because
Exactly.
that is, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, what's the
I'm
point
gonna have
in
to
bleaching your hair?
Yeah, I mean, for real. Like, what are you even doing?
Are you gonna? I hear your enthusiasm. Are you inspired? Are you?
No.
Okay.
No, I have done that
Okay.
many moons ago.
Okay.
I bleached my hair for a role in a play.
Oh.
And I did spike it up, and they did become frosted tips.
Oh.
And I'm glad I did it,
Yep.
but I don't need to do it again.
So we have a little bit of a micro dance here between Clem and Rainer. Clem, he wants the drone kill pop. He wants it, but we do force
He
a
wants
cancel,
it.
and he gets away.
The queen says no. And meantime, Rainer's got a third base over on the other side. So
Yeah, we're easing into this game. So far, it was a standard open out of Rainer. His third base was slightly delayed, but as you pointed out, you know, it was taken at the linear location instead. Likewise, we have Clem across the map, but going for a more economic opener, it's going to be a third CC before starport.
yep, I mean, that's kind of what I expect. Lots of macro play from these guys. Quick third CC out of Clem. That's what's so exciting about it. There's a Roach Warren.
Yeah, there is a Roach one here from Rainer. I mean, both Rainer and Soul have been very fond of Roach-based openers in this matchup. I don't know if you've noticed, where it isn't, we're not going to be commit. We can commit to Roaches and go for like a 1-1 timing, but usually it's like Roaches to get into the mid game, and then we mix in some Ling Bane thereafter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the more reasonable thing to do. Roaches are quite good against Terran at this stage of the meta. So it's very fair. I will say I've been casting a lot of Dark, and usually if I see the Roach Warren, I expect just a bunch of Roaches to be made and go across the map.
Yeah,
so I get excited when I see the Roach Warren now.
There's that meme where, like, you know, Dark and Cyril and Rainer, they all make Roaches, but we are not the same. You know, Dark, he commits, and the others, they just flirt with the idea of Roaches.
Yeah. Rainer is going to make a few here to help defend these Hellions, and he might try to push across them, but I really don't think so. He doesn't have Roach speed or anything. There's Banshees coming out of Clem. He's playing this very safe, very by the book. You know, Clem is he's kind of a by the book Terran a lot of times.
Yeah. Some say he wrote the book.
He did not write the book.
He's too young for that, Bobby. He's too young.
He might have some notes scratched in the margins, but this book was written definitely not by him.
Oh, where are you going with this?
He's perfected this book. But, yeah. Who wrote the book? That's a good question. Good question. You know, Maru has made a lot of contributions. I think a lot of this really stems from MVP.
Oh,
back in the day.
Yeah.
This thing about the Terran book. The Terran book hasn't changed too much, really. Like, if we're honest, like there's a few additions. There's like a Cyclone page in there now, but like realistically,
it's
the majority of the book is just like MVP and Innovation wrote that.
Yeah. There's a lot of like there's like a big page with like a picture of a Marine, you know, there's there's a lot of 111 in there, and there's not much deviation.
Page 1 is Marine, page 2 is tanks, and then really after that they just kind of it's just refining that.
Yeah, there was
Kira Marine. He's made a lot of contributions for sure over the years.
There was a page of Hellbats at one point, but that got ripped out. That back in Heart of the Swarm, we got rid of that page. Don't want it anymore. But yeah, so far as you mentioned, we only made 7 Roaches. It was only 7 Roaches out of Rainer. We now have Link Speed on the way. Link Speed was skipped to get into the early Roaches just for safety, as you mentioned. And there it is. We have Plus on Melee on the way. So we are transitioning in the mid game into Ling Bane.
Yeah, and those first 7 Roaches will undoubtedly become Ravagers. They're a really helpful part of a Ling Bane army. Better than Roaches, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Once the Ling Bane starts coming out. A few more Roaches on the way here. Like you said, Ling Speed not quite done yet, so Rainer wants to just keep those roaches going. They'll be a little more helpful against the marine drops that are starting to come out here. The Hellions really didn't get anything done. I mean, they don't even think a lot of creep tumors died. So Raynor's creep is starting to spread really far out here, and that's not something I usually see Clem let happen against Raynor.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's got to get to work pushing that creep back.
That's like the power of the Roach, right? Like the Roaches, they just swatted away the Hellions at every turn. The Hellions couldn't really do too much. Meanwhile, the Roaches are trading against the Marines. We do keep up for the time being, drop into the main base. There's not much in position. Again, that's the downside of Roaches. They're very immobile, so there's potential for Clem, but Raynor, he's in position.
Yeah, good sport crawlers there for Raynor. He does not want to have to deal with the drops. The Roaches are quite a bit slower than Lings are. So getting from that fourth base to the main, it could be a little tough to maneuver those Roaches that way when you only just have enough to really take the fight. So the sport crawlers help keep that zoning away. He's actually got 3 in the main base. He is not messing around with those spores at all.
Yeah, he's fully aware of how fast Clem can be, right? Like, he's known for his drop play, so we take it seriously. And against any other player, this could be a little bit wasteful, but it does make sense against Clem.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned how fast Clem is, and I can tell you some secret insider information. It's not secret or really insider information, but I just happen to know that Raynor was, I think, feeling a bit disappointed in his results in DreamHack Atlanta. He was sick, and that's, you know, big part of the excuse. But I think in general, he wanted to shape up a little bit, and he's been practicing. And the way Raynor likes to practice for players like Clem, and this is something I've seen him do in the past when he was on Uppatree's channel. They were playing Archon mode against Raynor, and it was 4 or 5 people against Raynor. Like solid, high-level players, Mixu and Foxer, and then some worse players like Sal. Playing 4 or 5 people against Raynor, and Raynor was just trying to deal with the multitasking and the speed that multiple people can combine to try to fight against somebody like Clem. But Clem's going for a big frontal push now. He is not splitting this at all. He is just pushing with these tanks into this base.
Yeah, we'll be coming from behind the Lings. They get on top of the tanks as well. The Ravagers push on forward, and we will clean up the tank line. We push back the Marines as well. A beautiful fight here from Raynor. He does lose a couple of drones, but he forces back the army.
Yeah, I would say a very good defense there from Raynor. Letting the creep buy him some time. Just delaying until he had that wraparound with the Lings on the backside. Pushes that back. But now Clem is here with a double drop on the left, a double drop on the right, and this is where things can get really dangerous for Raynor. He's got to split his army accordingly and take good fights on each side.
Yeah, the multi-prong is upon us. We see Clem pushing on both ends. We do have Roaches that were left behind, Queens as well to transfuse. So far, Raynor is keeping up, and he's able to chase this down. At the same time, CranKy dives deep onto creep.
Yeah, he's going right into this third base. Going to try to get on the drones, perhaps, but he's fighting against the Roaches. He doesn't have enough medevac space for everything, so he fights until he can pick everything up, and then he gets out of there. The Queen's on this side killing some of those medevacs. And Clem, he is forced to retreat. Raynor holds on, keeps his 88 drones alive, keeps his bases alive. Loses some of that creep spread that we were talking about earlier, but I still feel like it's looking really nice for him.
Yeah, exactly. No active tumors, but we're halfway across the map at this point with that creep. And as you mentioned, Raynor, I was called it Frost. Raynor, he does clean up both armies at once, but we're not stopping here. Clem, he's already remaxed, already coming in with another army.
Yeah, he is not going to stop this pressure as long as he can keep it going. And while this one is taking a little bit of a back and forth fight, I think the Queens on the right-hand side went down. So that is a big hit there for Raynor, who is not going to be able to replace a lot of that creep spread. Got to make sure he gets his injects going as well. But there are Vipers out now. The high tech is here for Raynor to help out against these fights.
Yeah, the Vipers have arrived. It looks like the drop on the right-hand side did kill the Queens, but it was cleaned up in the end by the spores, by the Roaches, and Raynor once again maintains his economy, and that's what's scary, what you just mentioned. Raynor this entire time, 89 drones, his economy has been left untouched, and he has hive tech. We have Vipers and Ultras on the way.
Yeah, those Ultras are going to be really nice here. We don't really have any Marauders out on the field. There are 4, but there's no Ghosts out. There's, just the 4 Marauders. Not a lot to deal with these Ultras. It's a really good tech choice right now from Raynor.
Yeah, exactly. Clem is kind of stuck with a mid-game army here, and Raynor being a little bit proactive, diving up this army, does get some power bombs. Good splits out of Clem, though.
Oh, yeah, he does leave that last one right as you say that.
Never mind.
And the Parabomb's going to get a few kills here and take a lot of those medevacs down real low.
Yeah, they get very low here, and here we do see the Ultras. They have arrived. Widowmine's going to be buying some time. At the same time, we do have Clem coming with a triple drop on the right-hand side.
Yeah, Clem wants to keep the pressure on. Raynor does have some units over there, though, that are kind of ready to deal with that.
Yeah, they are.
And he's continuing to push on the front. Raynor wants to keep these bases alive, keep these drones alive. He is going to push this away. The Widowmine's not really connecting all that well.
Good defense so far out of Raynor. At the same time, Clem was able to hold on with his Widowmines with his army, so Raynor was forced back, but he's getting into 3-3. Kindness plating has now finished, and as you mentioned, there are still not many Marauders here. No Ghosts. We're transitioning into Liberators, actually. We have a Fusion Core on the way, but that's still a ways away.
Yeah, he's trying to head that way, and Clem at the same time is taking a 5th base. But he's got those Ghosts coming out. Those are going to be hugely important, not just against the Ultras, but also those Vipers. EMPing or sniping those Vipers off is massive. They've killed so many of those Medivacs with the Parabombs. They could drop some Blinding Clouds on this Bio Army.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential with those Vipers as we're going to be pushing on forward. The mine shot's going to be going up, but they're dragged into the army of Clem. We're pushing forward once again. Big power bombs here on those Medivacs, and Raynor is breaking through.
Yeah, he's starting to bust through into this base. This is not a planetary, so Clem needs to be super careful in taking this fight. He is starting to push this back a little bit. Not a lot of Lings or Banes left, so the Bio Army is going to do a lot better against Roach Ultra than the rest of that force. And Raynor, got to be careful not to lose a lot of these high-value units. Another Ultra goes down there. Roaches and Ravagers trying to escape. 9 SCVs fell, but Clem's economy is still looking pretty solid here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's got all his bases up and running, as you mentioned, but here come the reinforcements, and Raynor does not turn back around. He still gets a little bit more damage done. 10 more workers go down. We catch a couple of units here in the back line. He's finally forced back, and we have remaxing with more Ultras, and this time Infestors.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some of the effects of those Parabombs on the Medivacs, right? This army is still not healed up. There's a lot of yellow and orange units in this army. The Medivacs just don't have the healing energy to deal with that. And as Clem tries to go out for some drops as well, that's more Medivacs not actively helping. He's building 4 at a time, but it's going to take a little while to get that count back up. And in the meantime, Raynor is going to keep this pressure on. The sensor tower is spotting that, but that is so many Banelings rolling through. Clem has to just pull all the way back, pulling the SCVs back as well, as the Banelings are just crashing into everything.
Oh my god, they zone back the army. That's going to be a kill on the base, a kill on the mineral line by the Ultras. 17 SCVs go down, and with that, I mean, we can actually keep on pushing as well. We do get a couple of snipes in, 1 Ultra does fall, but now we're pushing on forward towards that planetary.
Oh, and with like 5 Ultras and Ravagers here, he might be able to get it. It looks like he is, even with the repair. Gonna sacrifice some of the Ultras for that, but I think Raynor is more than happy to do that. Clem is down to 138 supply. Whatever drop was happening on the other side of the map got cleaned up, and Clem is in dire straits right now. Down to 3 bases. His army supply is below that of Raynor, and he just doesn't have any money.
Yeah, he is out of money. He is out of time here as Raynor snowballing out of control again. Raynor, his own economy was left untouched for so long in this game, and his macro was insane, just never letting up once he got across the map. The Liberators have arrived, but the Biles, they take down one of them, and the Ultras, they bust into the natural.
Yeah, the Ultras are here. They're getting on top of all this, and if Raynor's able to get up the ramp, he'll get on top of the production, and that is going to be GG in Game 1. Raynor, that training is paying off as he takes down Clem.
GG, the training paying off. The frosted tips, papi, you know, they're the bleach injecting into his brain. It's it's helping him out here, and yeah, he's looking strong, looking powerful in Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, very solid game there. You're absolutely right. Bleaching the hair, it gives you, you know what it is? He didn't even bleach his hair. He just went Super Saiyan.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go, Raynor.
It all makes sense now.
He has ascended. He's gone further beyond, and that was a solid Game 1 there out of Raynor. The map, of course, adding to this a little bit as well. You know, the rush distance by ground on hard lead, very short. So you saw that once Raynor got maxed out, once he got into his Ultra Tech, once he started pushing, he did not stop. He was unrelenting against Clem.
Yeah, and he had that like frontal base too, right? The kind of forward base. And so from there to Clem's third, it's such a short distance. It just feels like it's right there. The moment Clem lets off on his pressure, Raynor just goes right across. He's right there. He's in your base.
Exactly, and Clem was just one step behind when it came to keeping up with the Ultra Tech, right? It's like when it came to getting into those ghosts and getting into those liberators. He got there in the end. He did get there, but it did take a little bit too long to get there, and with that, Raynor does take the first game, but thankfully, it's a best of 5. Got plenty more games ahead of us.
So many games available to us. And I hope we get all 5 of them, just like we did earlier today.
Yeah.
Or yesterday. Whatever day that was.
It all blends together, man. You don't even remember what we casted yesterday. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I have no clue.
You're like, mate, I was barely conscious, okay? I was like running off of like no sleep. It's all a blur. Like, oh, okay.
Honestly, it was probably some of the best casting I've ever done.
It was beautiful. It's great.
Maybe I should cast on 0 sleep more often.
Yeah, I recommend it. As we're getting into this and sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have our French Terran player, our reigning ESL Masters Winter Champion. Down in this series, looking to fight back, representing Team Liquid, it is Clem.
And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, going by Jack Frost because he's feeling cold, feeling cool and calculated in the dead of winter. But it is Frosted Tipsman Raynor.
Does it snow where you are in the Americas, in Washington?
It does, yes.
Oh.
It doesn't snow in this city like a lot because usually we get rain. And like the temperature doesn't often fall low enough for it to turn into snow. That being said, we're supposed to get snow this weekend. So we got like a big old cold front coming in and should get some snow. Nobody here can drive in the snow.
Okay.
So that's fun.
Wait, is no one allowed to drive or no one can drive and there's like
No,
accidents
they
all
have
over
no
the place?
ability. They have no ability to drive in the snow.
Okay.
What was really funny is last year, not the snow, but there was like a day where it got super icy, and there was just like an inch of ice all on the ground, and the amount of accidents that happened was crazy. And also watching people fall, I feel bad, but it was hilarious. There were so many good videos of people falling. Like I watched a compilation video of people just slipping and falling. We had people call into work because they like left their house, slipped and fell, and they were like, I'm not going in. That was beautiful.
I like the idea of being like, yo, it's gonna be snowing this weekend. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna just, set up a chair. I'm gonna look outside the window and I'm just gonna look at the street. I'm just gonna watch all these cars just sliding around and just just enjoy the festivities of the snow. And obviously, hope everyone stays safe. But enjoy. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun. But yes, it does snow here. Does it snow where you are?
Oh God, no. Hey, we're in Australia, Poppy. It's not. It does snow in one like in like the mountains, like in the when you go up into the altitude. That's where snow is. That's where you have like ski resorts and stuff like that. But that's like the only place where there's snow in Australia, pretty much.
Yep. The rest of it's just desert.
Pretty
The good old outback.
Never been. It's there's cities here in Australia. There are things that aren't sand and deserts. Sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
I went to Australia. It's not true.
Okay.
Don't listen to him. It's literally just that. Have you guys watched Mad Max?
Oh yeah.
It's just that.
That's a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the first one especially. That one's actually just Australia.
Oh, that's peak Australia. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. As we're diving into this, there was a little bit of miscontrol earlier. Clem did end up losing a Reaper outside the natural, which was a little bit uncharacteristic. But outside of that, we're getting into our builds. Once again, it's going to be 3CC. This time, we're going Viking first, though. We're not going for an add-on sword. We're not rushing into Banshees like we did previously.
Yeah, not too worried about being hit by a bunch of roaches, and I don't remember those Banshees really getting too much done last game. They did more just hitting roaches and Ravagers in the middle of the map for like half the game, but Eventually, Biles were able to take them down, or parasitic bombs, and I don't blame Clem for just wanting to skip that in this game. It's one of those things that, like, going for the Banshees, it's a good safety move in case your opponent does want to all in you with some stuff. I don't necessarily expect that from Raynor here, though. That's if Clem was playing Dark, I'd be like, he needs the Banshees.
Yeah.
He needs them.
100%.
Against Raynor, I think he can play a little bit fast and loose with that kind of stuff and get into a quicker stim. He does have a Liberator coming out, so still a little bit of potential for harass.
Yeah, opted to go for the Viking into Lib Opener instead. As you mentioned, because there's no add-on swap, we have faster stim here for the Terran, and we are going to be moving out. The goal here is we have Hellions from one end, we have Liberators from the other, so Clem is going to be looking for an opportunity to dive. He doesn't have to, but there is potential for damage, and it's going to be on Raynor to keep up, as he has opted not to go Roaches this time.
Yeah, and this is a lot of Hellions. It can definitely get some damage done if he gets in. I don't know if I expect Clem to try to dive in on the drones. There's enough Lings out where I feel like it might be better just to poke the front, maybe try to get some of those creep kills, or keep the Queens out here. He's doing a great job keeping these Queens out here, which is going to make the Liberator a little bit scarier in the main base.
There we go, Lib diving into the main base at the same time. As you mentioned, Hellions are keeping the Queens busy, keeping them preoccupied, but we do have a handful of them diving in. The Spore is done, and the Liberator is going to be denied.
Yeah, Raynor has 11 Queens already in this game, so I guess he doesn't really have to worry about the Queens being separated. He's got Spore Crawlers in position too, and Clem is just not finding any damage here. He's killed one Ling and one Overlord this game, and that's it. He is not getting anything else done. Hasn't even cleaned up any creep tumors just yet, but with 11 Queens, doesn't even matter.
Exactly. You bring down one tumor and two more pop up to take their place here as the Hellions. They get a couple of drone kills, two workers go down, and then we get the hell out of there. Again, Clem really respecting the positioning here of Raynor, recognizing that he won't be able to get too much more, so he does just get a couple of kills and backs the hell off.
Yeah, I like that choice a lot. I feel like every time these days that I see a Terran player dive in, oh, poor Viking. Every time I see those Hellions dive in, it always feels like a mistake. Even if they get like 8 drone kills, I'm like, well, now the Zerg doesn't have to worry about them, though.
Yeah.
You know, they're not on the map anymore. They're not a threat anymore. Whereas as these Marines come out in the medevacs, suddenly Clem already has potential for multi-prong, right? He already can move the Hellions over to one side or defend with them in this situation against run-bys, and then put pressure on with these Marines. And I feel like that's a much more powerful use for those Hellions than diving them in and maybe getting some drone kills. So I like that he keeps them alive. This double drop is going to get shoved away pretty quickly. Ooh, those Marines get in there.
Yeah, it is going to be forced back, and I definitely agree. I think there's like a bit of a misconception where Hellions, they don't really scale amazingly into the mid game. That is true, but there's still so much more value you can gain out of them. You don't have to just throw them away, whether it's harassing and getting into another mineral line, you know, for multi-prong, or even just joining the main army. Cure, he's so good at like going for a 7-minute tank push with also preserving his Hellions and having Hellbats to support his tanks to make sure they don't get surrounded by Lings. So there's a lot you can do with them, and we'll see how Clem kind of pieces this all together.
Yeah, I mean, now that they're alive, yeah, they're just going to group up with these Marines and Mines over on the left-hand side, and suddenly that force looks so much scarier than if it was just the Marines and Mines. Now these Hellbats morphing, and suddenly Raynor's got to deal with this in a different way. He does have quite a few Banes coming in. Got to watch those Widow Mines, but these Hellbats are going to help hold the front line. More Marines showing up here. There's still that double drop on the right-hand side that Raynor needs to keep some units split off for. So he's got to split correctly. The Banelings coming in. A lot of those Hellbats do go down, but this allows the Marines to stay alive for even longer. Taking down that Spore Crawler. Widow Mine, almost getting some friendly fire there. Raynor does force Clem to lift up, but 11 drones have gone down.
Oh my god, yeah, there was a drop here towards the south. 11 workers have fallen. Not too bad here. As you mentioned before, we did distract Raynor and damage was still done. Oh my god, the friendly fire!
No! Oh, that Widow Mine killed both of the full medevacs. Friendly fire too good. Clem is still keeping that pressure going, but losing that is so painful. Now Raynor just doesn't have to worry about that side, and look at the creep spread in the meantime.
Yeah.
That was hitting the third base of Clem. He's finally going to clear up some tumors, but that is huge. Raynor, I feel like deflecting this is doing so well right now.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, he still may have lost a couple of workers, but regardless, Raynor, he's on 80 drones regardless. He shuts down the drop play, and the creep is just giving him so much time to rebuild, to remax. He is going Lingbane into Hydra's. Infestation Pit is just now about to finish against Hive Tech, so we're still in a Lair Tech army, but overall, Raynor is keeping up. But can he continue to keep up because Clem is pushing?
Yeah, Clem's going to keep that pressure on, and Clem was doing very well before losing those 2 medevacs. So I still think this is a very dangerous position for Raynor. He's got to respect this. The Hydras do give him a lot more stability in these fights. They can do a lot better against the Marines straight up. But he's still got to watch those mines. He's splitting off Lings individually to try to get these kills, but any single mine hit can change the nature of this game.
Yeah, but so far so good here. The Widowmines, they will not connect. They get shut down here. Not a single one. One goes off towards the end, but no big connection. And Raynor is going to be forcing Clem back.
Yeah, pushes this whole side of the army back. Even forces Clem to kill one of his own Marines. Ooh, the other side, things getting a little bit dicey with these Widowmines, but Raynor holding on for now, not taking really any damage, and forcing another lift up.
Yeah, good connections there. Meanwhile, we do have the Hydras coming from behind, but look at collapse on top of these medevacs.
Oh, yep, he's trying to get them. The few Marines left to defend them, but one medevac goes down. This drop heading towards the main, but there's, again, a ton of Spore Crawlers in here. And that's going to make it so much harder for Clem to get anything done.
Yeah, we have the drop into the main base. We do peel off a couple of units. At the same time, we're pushing towards that forward, that triangular third base, but we are in position. Oh my god, the Bailings, they do crash in. They get some connection, but most of them go down.
Yeah, now the Hydras are a little bit exposed. The Lings are coming down to help out, but Clem is reinforcing with those medevacs that were going to drop into the main base. So now he's got a lot of healing potential and a ton of Marines, and all those Banelings died. So it's basically just Ling Hydra for right now. Raynor's got to morph a few more as some Widowmines drop in to this 5th base. Not getting a lot of damage done, though. Good splits there from Raynor.
Yeah, good reaction out of Raynor, losing 2 drones to 3 Widowmines at the same time. He collapses on this army. Even without Banelings, he still has enough to overwhelm. Clem forces him back, but Clem still not slowing down. He's on 4 bases, trying to get a 5th soon up and running, trying to be active here, but it feels like Raynor has taken control of his side of the map.
Yeah, Raynor's been deflecting these attacks consistently, really. Since those 11 drones died like 6 minutes ago, not much has happened. It's just been trading army for army. Now, like you said, Clem, he's going to take that 5th base. Raynor is working on getting a 6th base going, but he's on 97 drones. He can take these kinds of trades all day, and he's got 5 Vipers coming out now. His hive is done, and he's getting into lurkers against this very Marine-heavy composition out of Clem.
Yeah, exactly. Marine mine, we need a transition to Ghosts into Liberators, just like the previous game where Clem is stuck on this mid-tier army, and his opponent is getting into Hive Tech. But before that happens, we have another big engage, forcing a bit of friendly fire. Widowmines are going to be going off, and Raynor is getting ready to collapse. At the same time, though, Clem pushing once again towards the north.
Yeah, this is the power of Clem, right? He's focusing all the attention down here on the bottom side of the map, but he is going to be heading to the north side with a lot of stuff. Raynor has split some Lings and Banes off, and it looks like it might delay Clem a little bit, but he's focusing down every single Baneling. Oh, beautiful Blinding Cloud, and the Friendly Fire Widowmine doing so much damage to everything here. The Hydra's cleaning up the rest of those units. Oh, but Clem is pushing in down here now, and he's actually starting to break through a lot of those Queens going down. And it looks like the 6th base is going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, Raynor may defend the north, but here towards the south, we are gaining ground as we do finally force this back. The Queens did fall, but the Hatchery survives. The drones survive, and the Vipers, they have arrived as we do see Raynor getting ready to go for his own counterattack. Lunkers, they are finally on the way. And previously, the Widowmines did more damage to Clem than the Bailings. That was crazy. That was the Trader Mines like, once again.
Genuinely, the Widowmines are winning the game right now for Raynor. But he has successfully pushed Clem back on both fronts for the time being. He keeps that 6th base alive, which is huge. He doesn't have a ton of Queens right now. I think he's down to, yeah, he's got 4. So the amount of injects he has is pretty low, and he's playing with a style that he needs a lot of injects. He needs a lot of larva. So keeping even just 1 hatchery alive is going to be pretty massive here.
Yeah, exactly. Good that you point out some of those Queens going down just because the creep is receding. Like, the creep spread has stopped at this point from Raynor, and it's not going any further from here, not without any additional creeping Queens. But the Lurkers have arrived. That's going to be a little bit more lava efficient from Raynor as he is holding on with the bare minimum here towards the north. And there we go. Stack defenses on the way. Raynor just walling up.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great choice, but it's going to be really hard for him to take another base. And in the meantime, Clem is mining nicely on 5 bases. He has those ghosts coming out in droves, and I feel like Clem set himself up in a really nice spot. Yes, Raynor was holding on for a long time, but like you said, that creep spread has been pushed back pretty substantially. Raynor's gonna have a hard time continuing to expand, and he did not break through into Clem's base at all in this game. There were no run-bys, there's no Banelings hitting planetaries, none of that.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't touched the economy yet. We are encouraging once again the Winter Mines. Oh my god! The mines working against another big powerbomb on the softened up Medivacs as well.
I mean, that is massive because, yeah, those Medivacs are just about out of juice. They're all very low, and this is going to give Raynor a chance to actually continue to poke through here.
Feels Widowmine, man. Oh my god,
Dude.
You said it before a little bit jokingly, but unironically, they're kind of they're putting in a lot of work here for Raynor as he does force back the army. Did lose a couple of Vipers, but 3 of them did survive.
Ooh,
and
there's
again,
Burrowed Banes.
Oh, Barred Banes, they are being, that's all good. They are being set up here towards the south. Not towards the north though, as, ooh, we do catch a Lurker.
Yeah, and that's where Clem is expanding right now. He's kind of just holding the 3rd base down on the bottom side, but Raynor just has nothing up on the top side to deal with that base at all. He is going to come back in down here, though, taking a nice fight. Parabomb going to kill a couple of those Medivacs as he is pushing this army back. The speed zone's really helping the Lings and Banes to get closer to this bio and keep pushing Clem back. Clem finds some reinforcements. Oh, but he still has to keep pulling back. Raynor is really pushing into him right now. He's got more Banes, more Hydras. And Clem's army feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. Look at that supply fall down under 150.
Yeah, Clem, that was a really awkward fight for him. He lost a lot of ghosts there in the retreat. He was caught out from behind as well. Meanwhile, here come the reinforcements. And again, Clem, he gets caught in a really awkward position. He will have to evacuate with what little he has, but he has been broken. And we are pushing in towards the bases. We can actually try to collapse on top of this planetary.
Yeah, Raynor's just going to go for it. He finally sees an opportunity to get some economic damage done to Clem, and he's going to do it. He is going to take this base down, and that's going to leave that base to the north side a little bit more vulnerable. Raynor might be able to just continue his pressure up there. It's not even a planetary yet.
Not even a planetary. Looking at the vision, Raynor actually hasn't seen it. He's unaware of that base location yet, but he backs off and he's not going to be resting here. He has a wave of lunkers on the way, and after killing so many ghosts, I mean, this could be what he needs.
Yeah, there's only 3 ghosts left on the field right now, and of course, Clem needs to get more bio out. He can't afford to be building a ton of ghosts. He needs those Marines and Marauders to hold it down before he gets all the ghosts out. Are those Burrowed Banes? That's crazy. Sorry, I have the logo on the map. I don't know if you do too, and it's like really hard to see those Banelings.
That's fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, the Banelings are there. Vipers coming in from behind as well, overextending though. Up.
Well, they get 1 Parabomb. But still good positioning here from Clem. He's going to be able to hold this ramp. Raynor is finally trying to take that base as these Lurkers get in here. Well, the 1 Lurker gets in there.
Yeah, Lurkers, they come in for a bit of a backstab, but they don't really get too much damage done. But here comes Raynor with the West of his Lings, going to try and collapse on this small army.
Oh, some Widowmine's trying to get it done here, but there's only a little bit of bio to actually clean this up. And it's not just some Lings, Banelings, and Hydra show up as well. This 3rd base is just getting rocked. And Raynor can just get in here, get this damage done. He should be able to retreat down to the bottom side of the map where he's expanding as well. Double expanding top and bottom side. Oh, wait. There it is. Raynor gets the Burrowed Bane hit. Beautifully done. He's hitting the top side as well, I think with some Lurkers trying to pull Clem's focus here. As Clem's going to be forced to repair that planetary. He doesn't quite kill the 3rd base, but he kills a bunch of the workers. Clem down to 65. SCVs. The Liberators coming up here to clean this up as the Lurkers try to maneuver around and get more SCV damage. Finally, that 3rd base just getting completely routed. Oh my god!
They're there. They don't quite connect yet. Raynor just teasing us with those Burrowed Banelings. I'm sure just waiting for the opportune moment. But regardless, as you were saying, a lot of workers did go down. Barely any mining going on here at the Northern Planetary as well. And Raynor, he can soon commit once again. Just rebuilding here with his Vipers, just remaxing his army.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep Clem back, keep the man down. He's going to push him back up this ramp, and this time he's thinking about those Banelings, but unburrowed. Didn't get a ton done there, but they killed 1 Widowmine, I guess. Looks like Clem might just barely have enough to hold on here with the healing from those Medivacs. He's got a lot of Liberators now. And Raynor is going to have to do something about those Liberators. There are 10 of them in the sky. All right, there's 7 of them in the sky as he comes back into this base. This is now an orbital, so the bio has to get here to defend this and try to push this back. The Widowmine's finally working for Clem now instead of working for Raynor, though.
There we go, as they do finally help out the Terran for once in this game. They do force back Raynor for the time being. Raynor, he has a massive gas bank. He doesn't have a lot of minerals. He's actually struggling to remax right now. He doesn't have the most minerals to work with, as we do see Clem stabilizing here on his bases. He still has top left up and running. He still has that center base as well.
All those SCVs in the top left are so low, but turns out they mine the exact same amount with 1 hit point or with full hit points. And yeah, Clem he's stabilizing his economy. Now, Raynor did take both the north and the south base. Those are both up. They are running. They have some amount of, they had some amount of drones at them, but all of a sudden 13 drones going down. And it looked like Raynor was in such a powerful position, but Clem constantly taking better trades over and over again, reestablishing his bases, and now Raynor can't get above 160 supply all of a sudden. He's floating 4,000 gas, but you're right, he has no minerals.
Yeah, no mineral income here for Raynor. He desperately needs his space up and running, but there is zero mining going on whatsoever. Raynor, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he is completely on the back foot here, trying to get some more lurkers up, but there's not really a great answer for all of these Liberators, plus the Ghosts underneath, getting snipes and EMPs off on these key units. Down goes one, both of the Vipers going down there, and Raynor's going to go for it. He's going to try to push forward. He's at 156 supply. I don't know that it's enough. As more Ghosts show up, the bio from the bottom side going to get on top of these Lurkers, and I think that's just about it for Raynor. This feels like Clem cleaning up Raynor's last hope.
Exactly, the Lurkers, they go down, the Hydras as well, and Raynor has almost nothing left. This mineral line is his last bastion of hope, and it will soon be going down. Still no mining whatsoever here towards the south as well. Raynor, he is out of money, out of time. He's just running out of everything.
Yeah, he'll hold on for now with the Ling and Hydra reinforcements, but Clem, he's just waiting for his own bio reinforcements. And I think he's going to be able to push this right on back. He's up 40 army supply. He's even dropping mules. He's so confident he is going to be able to hold on to this base, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. Raynor doing whatever he can to try to hold. We do have that that spore crawler here towards the south. We can finally get that base up and running, but again, it may just be too little too late at this point because Clem is about to max out.
Yeah, I mean, Clem is just so far ahead at this point, and he's just going to keep this pressure on. The Spine Crawlers coming in to try to help out, but against Stim Marines, I mean, these Spine Crawlers are just not going to last very long. It's 3-3 Marines. A Ghost gets yoinked. I guess that's better than nothing as these Vipers are trying to get something done. A few Lurkers show up. Those Lurkers can be crucial against this, but Clem splitting, taking as good of a fight as he possibly can here, maintaining that army supply lead. He is going to have to pick up and get out of there, though.
Yeah, again, Raynor is doing an amazing job here at holding on here. He yoinks another Liberator. Meanwhile, across the map, still no mining as we peel off a couple of Marines here. Only a couple of Marines is all we need to deny mining once again at this southern base. Liberators are heading towards some of these other fringe bases to pick off whatever they can, and we're just amassing that death ball here. It's impressive that Raynor's been able to hold despite being so far behind, but there's only so much he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he has these bases now to get some amount of mining going. And maybe he can take efficient enough trades to hold on. The Vipers really help, the Lurkers really help, but Clem, as I say that, dives in on top of this and once again just clears everything that Raynor has. And this time Raynor is not going to be able to push this back at the very end. All of the drones are going to fall. The Lings and Hydras gathering at the top of the ramp, but that is a small consolation when he's already lost the entire economy here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is mainly medevacs, so a couple of medevacs do go down. We even force some friendly fire from the Widowmines once again. That's 28 drones falling, and this southern base is about to be laid siege upon by Clem's reinforcements. The Hydras they're getting rather are actually pushing towards the center base.
Yeah, Raynor's going to be able to get some damage done here. He's down about 80 supply, but he is killing a base that Clem can pretty easily retake once the army leaves. And at the same time, Clem is killing that base on the bottom side. He's going to be killing the drones there if he decides to scan, and that is just going to be it as Raynor loses his army, loses his economy, and Clem ties the series up 1-1.
GG, well played. A back and forth there. Initially, Raynor had so much momentum on his side with the help of the Widowmines, of course, of Clem. But even with the help of the mines, wasn't enough to trade efficiently enough, and it did come down to those last two bases. It was the north and south, the fact that Raynor could not get them up and running.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a crazy game. It really felt like Reynor had such a good opportunity to get in there. I think the fact that he missed that upper left base, that sixth base, and wasn't able to go take it down, ended up really hurting him. He had an opportunity where I think he really could have gone and killed it, killed all the SCVs there, and Clem able to hold on to it just by the sheer virtue of Reynor not thinking about it.
Yeah, that was a really pivotal moment, right? Because that's when Reynor, he had momentum. He just shut down the center 5th base, but he didn't get eyes, or he didn't know about the 6th. And he definitely had the army to do so, to actually get there. Especially if you remember, it wasn't even a planetary, right? It was just a vanilla base, so there was very little to defend there. If only Reynor was aware, he probably thought he was further ahead than he really was, you know, when he backed off, you know, thinking that he had crippled the economy of Clem.
Yeah, and then the follow-up lurkers, it felt like that was going to be a game-ending move, and it just ended up not being. The ghosts already coming out for Clem, the, you know, constant hitting in multiple locations. The lurkers ended up being on their own a couple of times and didn't really get done what they needed to get done.
Did not. And with that, we have a back and forth. Clem, he takes game 1. We have a tied up 1-1 score, and we still have so much more ahead of us. As a reminder, it's a best of 5 grand final, so we at least have 2 more games.
Yes. Hopefully 3.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be 3 with the way these games are going. This is exactly what we expect from Clem versus Reynor. These guys are so good. They know each other so well. They practice against each other and play against each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to see these 2 European titans face off here in the land of the Americas. We didn't even get to talk about it, but the fact that I can't remember the last time Reynor went full degen and stayed up this late and played in ESL Americas. Like MaxPax and Clem, you know, they wake up at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, they're all about this ESL Americas life, but not so much Reynor.
It's true. I feel like Reynor used to do this a lot more often, but yeah, I haven't seen him play in a ton of ESL Open Cups really over the last, what, year? 2 years even? He used to play in these a lot more, but I feel like, you know, maybe once he won Katowice, he was like, I'm kind of too good for that now, you know? Like, he and Cyril will just never sign up.
Yeah, sometimes it takes something to kind of like light the fire underneath a player to, you know, get their motivation going. And yeah, it is really cool to see him competing here in this weekly in ESL Open Cup Americas, and he's had a really solid run so far. You know, he took down Dark to make it here, and yeah, what a beautiful finals we have. You know, we rarely get to see Clem and Reynor in these weeklies.
Yeah, it's really nice to get to see this again in the grand finals. I felt like this was going to be the finals when I saw the bracket. I was like, I think we have to have a Clem Reynor finals. I hope we do.
The stars, they aligned, and we do have it here. And looks like our players just need a moment to just gather their thoughts, and I don't blame them. That was a very intense game. That was a very intense game too. So we just need a moment to breathe here while we get ready.
Yeah, and Reynor, I'm looking at it now. He hasn't dropped a map yet today.
Yeah.
Beat Cure 2-0, Dark 2-0. Clem also not dropping a single map against Parting Hero or even against Pig.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My God.
You know, I got really excited actually when I got into casting Clem versus Pig.
Oh.
They both had picked Protoss, and I was like, oh, dude, it's going to be a PvP. Let's go. And then Clem was like, no.
Oh.
I was like, damn.
Feels bad, man. They teased you, man.
Bad.
They teased you.
I know. I got so excited.
Pig, he
has
has
to just be another TVP.
He has gotten players to off race against him before. I remember. I think it was Estrella. I think he goaded Estrella into playing Terran against him, and I think Pig won. I think he beat Estrella like that one time. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Pig is like really good. You got to be careful, man. You got to really be confident in your off race to take him on.
Yeah, definitely. But here we go. Looks like our players are ready, and we're going to be loading into our next game. We're going to be loading into Site Delta.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. I like me some Site Delta. I feel like I usually see Roaches be pretty good on this map against Terran.
Yeah, I mean, this map is an interesting one. It's very wide open in the center of the map. Can allow for some really massive surrounds and engagements, but it's also quite spread out as well. So I mean, we'll get into it. It can lead to a lot of really amazing games. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have our French Terran player tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem.
Ooh, and he's got that low ground wall getting started there. Might be going for some Reapers against his Zerg opponent down here in the lower right. We see him as Jack Frost, the cool man, but it is, of course, Basilisk Gaming's Rainer.
And this is an opener that Rainer has been very fond of in ZVT. More often than not, we've been seeing Rainer go for a 15-15, which has kind of risen in popularity over the past year. Of course, it's the Eric opener. Yeah, really an alternate way to open up nowadays.
I like that. I like that. Just changing it up a little bit. Probably doesn't affect too many things, but, you know, might have a good couple of use cases against certain builds or catch other players off guard.
Yeah, the way it works is that we have delayed gas, we have delayed link speed as a result, but we get faster queens. Faster queens will be coming out for Rainer. They will be coming out in time to defend, and usually you skip links and you defend with queens and you just drone and you be greedy. But because of this double Rax opener, Rainer will have to get into link production, and this may hurt him a little bit here because his link speed will be delayed to deal with the eventual Mass Reaper.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is maybe why Clem wants to go for this. Maybe he knows Rainer's been doing this build and delaying that link speed a little bit. Wants to try to take advantage of it with some Reapers. It's funny, this was such a common thing for a little while in Korea, the 2 Rax Reaper, and I feel like it's fallen off. I don't see it all that often anymore, except for Bjorn, who still loves to do this all the time. But Clem has really adopted this. He brings it out in quite a few TVZs.
Yeah, as you mentioned, basically ever since the new patch, this 2Rax Reaper build has fallen off. We see like Cure whip it out like once a week or something. Like it's very it's not really seen too often outside of players like Clem and Bjorn. So it's really cool to see once again. The way this works is that we're going to be getting into up to at most 5 Reapers, and the goal is to delay this third basis, to force a cancel if possible, or maybe even get some drone kills.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very ideal to see the cancel get forced on this. We'll see if Clem starts focusing on that soon. Like you said, without link speed and without any lings on the map or in production, these queens have a lot of work to do to deal with this. And
yeah,
I think Rainer might have already accepted that he's going to have to cancel this base because it seems like he's just chilling for now. Yeah,
so this is going to be a really good start for Clem. Again, this is what he was hoping for in the ideal situation, is to cancel this hatchery and to contain Rainer to 2 bases. Now, Rainer, because of his opener, he didn't make any lings, and really bold here for him to just refuse to make any lings whatsoever, despite the fact there are all these Reapers, but he's buying time with this hatchery, and he can get away with just purely queens to defend.
Yep, and it's funny, this is only 3 Reapers. Usually we don't see 3 Reapers able to force the cancel on this base, but because of Rainer's opening that we were talking about with the late ling speed, and like you said, he just decided not to build any lings, he is going to have to cancel this. There it goes, the very last second. Doesn't even get to save the drone. Yeah. And this is a great opening for Clem. I mean, this is fantastic. He's going into double Cyclone off the back of this. Damn. All right.
Let's go. This should be double Cyclone into Hellions. We'll see if he commits to Cyclones and spices things up. But yeah, really interesting follow-up. It's going to be a bit of a 3cc before starport. Usually this leads into like a 3cc 2-1-1 or maybe like a 3 or even 4-ax. So yeah, really interesting follow-up out of Clem.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is because of what he's seen, right? No lings. He might be worried about roaches or something with this. He just hasn't really seen anything. And I still don't think the Reapers have really gotten into the base to see too much. He just sees queens for now. And maybe he just wants to poke at these queens with the Cyclones. Those can be super annoying against queens.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we did skip link speed. Now, link speed did just finish up, and Rainer is making a wave of links to help defend, but the Overlord is going to be shut down, and Clem is going to be reinforcing these these Cyclones with Hellions. So even with lings, we will have some supportive units here to keep these Cyclones alive.
Yeah, those lings are all popping out right now. It is quite a few of them, so the Cyclones have to be a little bit careful. Those 2 Hellions can help out, but this feels like it might be enough lings with a couple of queens to actually take this out.
Yeah, we can see that Rainer, he wants to lure the army in. He's getting ready for a mass around here on these Cyclones. It looks like he's going in. Up.
Ooh, yeah, he's going to force the micro away here. The Reaper grenade helping out, but the Cyclones get trapped. One's going to go down. The second one will go down. And now the Lynx can just back up. The Queens can handle the couple of Hellions and the single Reaper. That is no problem. And Raynor holds on against the annoying Cyclones.
Yeah, very nicely done here by Raynor to come in for the surround, to set up and to shut this down. And now suddenly, as you mentioned, this army is that much less threatening as we even try to surround the Hellions. Oh, God!
Great movement there by Raynor. Clem does see it at the last second, so he's able to save 3 of those Hellions. But he's kind of got to back out for now. And look at how early Raynor's 1-1 is. Because of the way he's open and the way that Clem is open, Clem's eBay is just finished. He's going to start up his 1-1 now. Raynor's is like 3/4 of the way done.
Yeah, really greedy follow-up here because Raynor, he actually delayed his lair. So he delayed his lair, he delayed his Bailey Nest for really fast 1-1 upgrades, and they're almost done. This is actually insane how fast they are. So yeah, there's a bit of a give and take here. It can be risky. If there was like a Hellbat push or something, then we would have been in a lot of trouble, but we've survived the early game and we now get into Baling production.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got 10 Queens, so those guys help quite a bit with these Lings, and if those Lings are able to hit 1-1, which they are about to, it's going to make these Marines a lot less powerful in these fights.
Yeah, exactly, and we're going to be coming in just to clear up as much creep as we can. The Hellions morphed into Hellbats as well. We can threaten this base, but as you mentioned, with 10 Queens, we should be okay. As I say that, we just in forward.
Yeah, and where are the Lings here? There's a bunch in production, but the Queens are kind of on their own right now. The drone's getting jumped on as well. It looks like the Marines will be pushed away as one of the medevacs died. And Clem doesn't want to stick out here if he's not going to be able to retreat at all. He stims again. A lot of these Marines are very low. He wants to focus this base down.
That's a kill!
Oh, no! He doesn't get the cancel.
Oh, my God.
The Queens accidentally hit it once, too, just to add insult to injury there.
Yeah, not like this. So suddenly, despite the greed, despite the upgrade advantage, Clem, he does well for himself. Killed 3 workers, killed a hatchery, 300 minerals down the drain, and now suddenly Raynor is stuck on 3 bases.
Yeah, that 4th suddenly feels super late. The 1-1 ends up being basically not helpful at all, as there were no Lings there. There's still not a ton of Lings out on the map. 22 in production right now, so they're going to pop here, and a few Banelings being morphed as well. But now we've got a couple of Widow Mines, and those do not care what your upgrades are.
Yeah, they do not care whatsoever. Big mine shot here on the Queens, and we do transfuse the Queens. They're holding strong for the time being. Looks like Raynor should be able to force this back. But again, behind this, we have another drop moving out. We do see the multi-pronged aggression coming in for Clem.
Yeah, and this is where things get really tough, right? This first double drop is already doing so well, killing this Queen in the main base, killing some drones, keeping these Lings and Banes out of position, and that's just going to make it so much harder for Raynor to handle the next double drop, which is already just boosting up to that 4th base. He wants to just kill this base if he can.
Yeah, Clem has a lot of momentum right now. After killing the base earlier, after stifling the production here of Raynor, Raynor is struggling, and this hatchery, it may go down.
Yeah, Clem, I think he can focus it down, but he's got to be careful of those Banelings. Some Widow Mines getting good connections here, and that base stays alive, but Raynor does not. As more drones going down in the main, that momentum from Clem is just too much.
GG, well played here. GG, as Clem does pull his opponent out, just left and right, pulls him apart, and Clem, despite the what looked to be a decent opener out of Raynor, yeah, just got out of control. GG.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Raynor's setup there. I just feel like maybe he was hoping that that push would come a little bit later, that initial Marine Hellbat push. He just didn't have any Lings out to deal with it. 1-1 was done, and he had like 12 Lings. And it just felt like that was so much investment into something that didn't help at all. By the time the Lings got out there, we had already had so much damage done by Clem.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was maybe Raynor being a little bit too overconfident. I mean, we pointed out, right? Like, 10 Queens, right? Like, that's a lot of Queens, you know? Maybe he had a little bit too much faith in those Queens initially, and it was not enough to actually save his base. And to lose that 4th, that was like the first domino falling, and they just kept falling in favor of Clem. It was, yeah, things escalated very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the danger of this matchup, particularly between these two players, is once that momentum's on your side, it is so difficult to get it back, right? Once your opponent has that momentum going, it's such a momentum-based matchup, especially the way these guys play. It's so back and forth, so aggressive. And now we're getting into game number 4 here, and on match point in the lower right-hand corner of Golden Aura, it is Team Liquid's Clem.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerga player representing Team Basilisk. It is Raynor. Once again, going for the 15-15.
Yeah, you know what? Sticking to his guns. He's like, I like the build. Maybe he thinks, I made the mistake, not the build. It wasn't the build that was the mistake. It was me. And he knows he can hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it was also like, there's a lot that really went awry for Raynor just because of the opener of Clem as well, right? Specifically because of the build choice of Raynor, he had to cancel his third base, right? So he already was kind of in a rough position to begin with, just stuck on 2 bases, delaying his third. And that shouldn't happen this time. This time, Raynor should be able to establish his third base.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It was just a great opening for Clem. Turned out sometimes the build order just kind of wins it for you. And in that game, that was a big part of it.
Yeah, it was a big part of it, but this time, you know, Raynor should be a lot more comfortable. The other plus side here is that going 15-15 and even going gasless is a lot more viable on Golden Aura just because of how consolidated these bases are. Like, the natural and the third base are so close together. There's no, like, it doesn't take too long for the queens to rotate between them, and you can kind of delay links quite a bit. Like, Dark loves doing that. Dark, he goes gasless quite often on Golden Aura.
Yeah, I mean, the super heavy queen openings have been very popular, and they're pretty good. Queens, turns out, are quite good. We did see a bit of a weakness in the last game of going super heavy queens, but even then, they held on for a very long time.
They did, and here we go. The aggression has begun. We do have the first Reaper getting across the map. The Queen does pop out in time and will fend this off. Again, the Queen is slightly earlier just because of the build of Raynor, and he should be able to force this back, and he's going to be droning heavily behind this, delaying his links.
Yep, just not even worried about Lings, not worried about the Reapers hitting him again. The Overlord went in a little further this time, so I think a part of the last game too, the Overlord did not go in to see the natural wall. He did not get the scout on the 2 Raxes in the wall. And so I think by the time he realized what it was, he was like, all right, there's no recourse. I'm just going to have to cancel this third. But this time he goes in, he sees exactly what he's up against. He's not afraid of the Reaper follow-up here, but it's another double Cyclone follow-up. Clem, he has been loving these Cyclones, man.
Yeah, really interesting here. So once again, third CC before Starport, straight into Cyclones. Now, just like the previous game, I'm pretty sure this is only going to be 2 Cyclones, then the Hellions. Again, Cure is very fond of this, and I know that Cure and Clem have been doing customs together now that they're teammates. It's been really cool to see. So yeah, they are playing very similarly here. This is just a really good way to gain map control early on. Oh, we're continuing!
Yeah, but as you say that, 2 more Cyclones going to pop up here, it looks like. Or at least 1 for now. And that link speed, that feels even more delayed than last game. I mean, it feels so far away right now as these Cyclones start moving across the map. But a few links are coming out. Those should be able to help out against this at least a little bit by just buffering, drawing those lock-ons.
Yeah.
But it is multiple Cyclones coming out behind this.
And this is such an aggressive build from Clem because it isn't just the Cyclones as he's trying to get a lock on and trying to be a little bit assertive. Behind this, delayed Starport. He goes, I thought it was going to be a 3CC 2-on-1. We have a third Rax as well, a very delayed Starport in favor of mass units, of mass Marines, Cyclones, Hellions, everything.
Yeah, I think he wants to try to take advantage of the fact that this is going to be low gas for a long time, so not a lot of Banes coming out here. It's just going to be Lings and Queens. And he's trying to put that pressure on, maybe utilize these Cyclones to force some transfusions early on here, keep that energy low, and then that follow-up stim Marines. A lot of Marines will be coming out here.
Yeah.
Can take advantage of the lack of energy, but oh no, the Cyclones getting caught by the Lings. Beautifully done by Raynor. Delays with those Queens and then just crushes through everything Clem has.
Wow, 2 games in a row. He lures in the Cyclones on to creep. Oh no, I'm stuck, Step Bro. And then the Lings, they come in from behind and they catch those Cyclones. Big moment here for Raynor. And suddenly without the Cyclones, this next follow-up push has that much less bite.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a third CC for Clem, so you know it's not like he was all in on this idea of the big push, but it's a very delayed Starport. It's going to make it a lot harder to get those drops going and multi-prong going. without the threat of the Cyclones and Hellions out on the map too.
Exactly, like there's going to be very delayed metamax, which means delayed drop play, which means very little map presence. And now Reynor, he has so much more freedom here in this game, taking his 4th base, droning up. He's even getting eyes on the 3rd as well, and there's not really much threatening Reynor anymore, not until those metamax come out.
Yeah, he can kind of just chill for a while here, and that's never what you want to give the Zerg as the Terran player, right? We talked about that momentum. Right now, Raynor's got the momentum on his side, and Clem needs to figure out how to get it back. He's going to shark in here with the Hellions, but 4 Hellions, not the scariest thing in the world.
Oh
no!
Yeah, the Hellions, they get spotted. The Lings, they dive into the natural base. The SCV is going to be going down. We do have some Marines to defend, but that's going to be 3 dead workers and a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just, again, so good for Reynor. Killing some workers here, lost mining time, keeping Clem back at home even longer. Tries to get into the 3rd, but the Hellions came back to defend as well. But overall, I mean, this is still just great for Reynor. He's getting his drone count up to 75 right now. His Bane Nest is on the way. His 1-1 is, again, a little bit faster than Clem's. So he's going to be even or ahead on upgrades for a while. And now as Clem finally moves across the map, another run-by is heading in towards that 3rd base. And I feel like Reynor is very well set up to defend this.
Yeah, we have the Wall of Queens here once again, but do we have enough Lings this time? We do. The Lings are going to be coming in to help respond, to help to defend here. Do we have a couple of mine shots going up for the Lings? They dive in.
Yeah, a few Queens do go down there. Reynor losing a couple of those before sending the Lings in. But I think it was worth it to tank those mine shots, each one only getting 1 Queen kill or even just damaging a Queen. And that means the Ling count can stay very high up. We got 42 Lings out on the map right now.
And oh, this is going to be interesting here. So as you mentioned, we have really fast upgrades. Once again, the Bane Nest was delayed. The lair was delayed, but we're going into Lingbane Muta, not Lingbane Hydra.
Yeah, and you know what? I noticed last game that Reynor had put down the Spire. Obviously, the game didn't last much longer after that. But it's a very interesting choice here off the back of this, you know, kind of late gas, late Ling speed opening. But it kind of makes sense. I like this choice a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if we can get there. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines are going to be going up. Good split so far. Oh, as we do shut down those Widow Mines. The drop is still being active, trying to force a cancel on the 5th base, but we are keeping up at the same time. Clem being active here on the right-hand side.
Yeah, there's no Lings over here to support these Queens, and all those Queens from earlier are just getting taken down. But oh no, the Banelings on the SCVs, and while Clem is getting some good damage done on Raynor's side of the map, he just loses 17 workers. He's down under 50 SCVs all of a sudden. And Reynor, his 5th base is on the way, and he's at 87 drones.
Yeah, exactly. In the midst of the multi-pronged aggression of Clem, he was not paying attention back at home. Neither were we, because there was a lot going on. And just like that, a mineral line goes down, another Ling runway coming in, and there's very little to defend.
Yeah, just a few reinforcements here. The Widowmine going to try to help. But at the same time, Clem is pushing on the top side. He's got some Hellbats. He's got this drop down here. Lots of action all over this map. 11 more SCVs going down as Reynor tries to hold his 4th. It looks like he's able to keep that 5th base alive for now. Oh my god, some big Widowmine shots. Reynor does hold on. He's got 5 mutas on the way now.
He's barely holding on. As you mentioned, really big Widowmine shots. Looks like this hatchery is barely going to survive. Only 1 Marine made it out and was not able to get a kill on that base. And it looks like Reynor, he has weathered the storm. The mutas are soon to arrive.
Yeah, and once those mutas are out, now 16 in production at a time, all of a sudden these drops are going to feel so much less impactful as the mutas can kill the medevacs.
Well, they can shut down the medevacs. Meanwhile, Clem is just going to keep it up again. He's all in at this point. He's completely all in. He has to end the game here and now. He has to deal some crippling damage. He does break through into the mineral line, does force back the drones.
Yeah, I don't know where the Lings and Banes are right now. It looks like Reynor doesn't have quite enough. He's going to dive in with the mutas as the Banelings pop, forces the lift up. The mine's not getting any big shots here. And Clem falling back to some reinforcements. He is up in army supply right now. It's the one thing he's kind of got going for him. But his 2-2, I don't know if something died or if he canceled it. But his armor is so late. I think the NG bays might have died in the natural. But Raynor's been working on 2-2 for a long time. Yeah. And Clem is going to hit +2 attacks soon, but those upgrades are crucial in these fights.
Exactly. The longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Reynor once he gets his production up and running. But here we go. The Widowmines have it right. At the same time, mutas are across the map. We're looking to harass and cripple the economy again, but can we afford to do this?
Yeah, I don't know about this for Raynor. He's sending a lot across the map with those mutas. He's going to kill a lot of SCVs. But like you said, Clem is already kind of just completely all in anyways. Yeah. He's going to have to lift his third base. But there's nothing here to deal with this Liberator right now, and it's just getting a lot of free damage on the Lings and Banes.
Yeah, the Queens were reset. The 5th hatchery has gone down as well. That was killed earlier. The Mutas doing what they can. They're going to be dealing with these Marines again. They do deny some mining. The mine shot!
That's a beautiful mine connection. Raynor has to be careful here. He's got 8 more mutas in production, though. He's going to go up to a very high muta count. A Thor is out. The mutas have to run away. Oh my god, the mutas! So low.
Barely escape. 8 mutas did go down in the harass, and with that, even another mine shot catching another muta here in the retreat. Clem, he's falling further and further behind, though. Again, we have to end it here and now. Army-wise, he's still looking pretty comparable to Raynor. He can still take a fight, but it all comes down to this next fight.
Yeah, and Raynor, I mean, he's got to hold on. He could try to sacrifice this base and put himself a little bit further behind. He's just got to be careful not to eat too many big mine shots. The Thor holding the front line to help out against these mutas, maybe tank some Banelings. Raynor's going to dive in, though. He's got to split against the mines and try to get some connections. The Thor goes down. Still a few Marines left, but Lings forcing the third to lift up. 11 more SCVs falling. Clem just getting more all in by the moment.
Yeah, exactly. His economy is non-existent at this point, and he's running out of steam. The Thor went down. The Widow Mines as well. We only have Marines. GG gets called, and Raynor ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match.
Yes, love to see it. Raynor holding on there. The run-bys were the real trick in that one. Lots of Lings getting through. The Banelings obviously smashing into 17 SCVs. Just keeping Clem's economy down and crushing that momentum that he had from the very beginning, from those Cyclones dying. It felt like Raynor was just in control of that game, and Clem wasn't able to get the damage done he needed to.
Exactly. A much more comfortable game out of Raynor, much more comfortable early game, and yeah, as you mentioned, once those Cyclones got cleaned up, Raynor was in control. Ooh, and now we get our ace match. We go all the way, we go the distance to Game 5.
Yes. Yes, thank God. This is what we really needed. This is what I needed on my Monday, you know? Monday. Still at the start of 2024, and yeah, it's still Monday here.
Yeah, it's fair, it's fair. Exactly, a great way to start the year as well. It's going to be a great year, full of StarCraft, full of so much, and I honestly, I can't wait for IM Katowice. You know, that's on the horizon. Both these players will be there, and they are both very much so in form.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Raynor did have a bit of a fire lit under him after Atlanta not going the way he wanted to and not feeling 100% about his play. He did that thing, the gamer thing, where he sat up in his chair and leaned forward.
He did a posture check, you know. He took a moment, yeah.
and then he bleached his hair, and now here we are in Game 5 of the finals. So it must have worked.
It must have worked, and here we go. We have our ESL Masters Winter reigning champion in the bottom left-hand corner, the French Terran player, looking to end it all, looking to get another win under his belt, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem.
And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, telling him to put that tongue back in his mouth. It is the Italian Stallion in the red. For Basilisk Gaming, it's Raynor.
Here we go, and once again, I'm getting deja vu, Chicken Man, because we have a 15-15 out of Raynor. Again, he's very fond of this, but this time Clem is going for that 2-racks.
Yeah, kind of a repeat of the opening of Game 3, so we'll see how this one differs, if at all. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting here. I wonder what Raynor's going to do to change it up. We'll see if that Overlord is able to get the confirmed scout on the 2-racks. I think that's a really important piece of why that last time this happened in Game 3, it didn't go particularly well for Raynor, right? It was very late that he realized what he was up against. But that Overlord should be able to come in here and get the scout.
Yeah, should be able to confirm what is going on. Likewise, the rush distance by ground on Alkione is also longer as well, so that could also help assist Reynor when it comes to his defense. Against this, we'll see, as the Overlord is soon to dive in, and we will be committing to Reaper production. Now, as you mentioned, we shouldn't be investing too hard into this. Last time, Clem was able to accomplish a lot with only 3 Reapers, but he can go up to 5, and he can invest a little bit more if he wants to deny that third.
Yeah, it really just depends on what Clem wants to do with this and how much he wants to invest into it. 3 Reapers is kind of the minimum to make it worth the opening. But it's the more like macro-friendly standard version.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I expect Clem to do here, but I've seen definitely 4 or 5 come out. There's no third racks with this, so it's not going to be like 9.
Yeah. Not going to be that much as Reaper has arrived. Queen pops out, and we will be fending this Reaper away. Now, because Reynor is aware of the opener, no third. We don't even attempt to take the third base, so there will not be a cancel because there's nothing to cancel.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is absolutely what Reynor should be doing here. Again, with that late link speed, he's got the queens to defend against these first few Reapers, so he probably won't be losing too much. One of these drones getting a little low, but saves it.
Does save it in the end, and Reynor is going to be able to hold on to his bases. Again, we have a 3rd and 4th queen on the way. Link speed just now starting up, and on the one hand, oh, let's go. We are going straight to a Roach Warren.
Yeah, I like the Roach Warren choice here. Now, there is Ling speed, so he's going to be able to have Lings with this as well. This isn't a full investment into Roaches, but wants those stronger units. Now, Clem only went into 2 Reapers. We talked about 3 this whole time, but Clem, as soon as he saw no third, he stopped building the 3rd Reaper, and he just went straight into the add-ons and straight into, I assume, double Cyclone once again, and that makes these Roaches feel a little bit less powerful. He's going to have double Cyclone coming out.
This is so clean. This is so clean out of Clem. As you mentioned, right, to cancel that 3rd Reaper that he was building, does take down the Tumor as well. Roach production has commenced, and Cyclones are exactly what he needs to help defend against that. He also spotted the Roach Warren, so he could go into Marauder production if need be, as he already has Stim in production as well.
Yeah, and that Tech Lab's a little bit vulnerable right now, but I mean, I just love this position right now for Clem. It feels like Reynor is trying to answer this, but he still doesn't have a 3rd base. We're 4 minutes into this game. The 3rd CC is finished. And there's no 3rd base for Reynor.
We're not droning. We're not droning. We're massing Lings right now. Here we go. Reynor, he doesn't have a 3rd because he doesn't need it. He is going all in.
Yep, and he has decided to channel Dark for Game 5 of this series. And he's like, you know what doesn't deal with Speedlings particularly well are those Cyclones. Now, there are some Hellions coming out as well, but this is going to be a lot of pressure on to Clem in the next couple of moments here. And all of his production is right in the wall. This is actually very dangerous for him. It's going to make those biles really, really painful for Clem.
Yeah, like this natural is so congested right now. If we can take control of the wall, we can take control of the production, and then suddenly Reynor, he can snowball into a win. The Ravagers are welling on forward. Can we deny Stim?
Oh, he might be able to. There's Lings coming in from the other side, getting the wrap around. These Cyclones are not going to be long for this world as they both go down, getting stuck on the starport. Like you said, it's so congested. More Cyclones are popping out, and there's a lot of Marines here, but Stim is denied. So all these Marines are just unupgraded completely.
Yeah, vanilla Marines. We do have a bunker in the background. We do fully wall off, but again, without Stim, what can these Marines really do? As the Ravagers are going ham here, we're still making more Roaches and more Lings. Reynor is expanding, but he is still not droning behind this.
Yeah, I love that choice right now. I mean, he's taking that expansion so he can start droning really at any point he wants to, but he's feeling like he can get some more damage done here. I love the little Cyclone drops. That's some cute micro from Clem, but he's forced to lift this factory, and that's going to give more surface area for those Lings if they want to try to bust in. Reynor decides to back off, but he's not backing off too far right now. He is just waiting for these units to try to pop out here. These Ravagers staying alive just barely.
Yeah, Clem being a little bit cheeky here, trying to pick off a Ravager if possible. So far, unable to, but these Ravagers, they are so very low, so close to going down. We reinforce some more Lings, more Ravagers. Again, we're still not droning. We're still just producing nothing but army. Reynor is still all in.
Yeah, and I think Clem was maybe expecting the droning behind us, but he realizes what he's up against. Stim is not going to happen up there. Definitely not. The SCV is a little bit late to that party. But there's a second bunker going up. Clem has realized he's up against a player who's decided he wants to kill him, and he's going to do everything he can to do it. Picking up those Cyclones, dodging the Ravager shots, but the Bile's going to take down one of the bunkers. No, it stays alive. It's getting healed.
Oh my god.
Clem is holding on.
The repairs are insane. We do see the Marines, they're flooding on forward. A lot of Marines are going to be going double wing, cleaning up the Lings.
Yeah, and the bunker holds 17 SCVs went down, but Clem is still ahead in workers. Finally, the bunker falls, but there's a backup one, and all those Lings are dead, making this a lot less scary for Clem to push out.
And mate, those two Cyclones survived for so long. This one Cyclone's still there. We're going for a tank drop. We want to chase down these Ravagers, and we should be able to pick off at least one of them. We're going to try, but now we have Lings to help support. And again, Raynor still hasn't droned, by the way. He's still all in, and Clem, he's holding. He's so close to surviving this.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 CCs too, even losing a bunch of workers, he's already up 10 workers again. He could just rebuild those, drops a few mules. His mining is way better than Raynor's, and this production, as vulnerable as it's been, has been producing consistently this whole time.
Yeah.
And now with tanks out, it's going to be so much harder for Raynor to bust in.
Yeah, 2 tanks sieged up behind the mineral line here, behind the main base. Lings, they try to flood on forward. 1 tank is going to be biled down, but the Lings, they get cleaned up once again. And Clem, he is pushing this back. He's cleaning this up.
And that is GG. Clem holds on against the all-in of Raynor. Raynor realizes that he is, in fact, not dark. Couldn't bust him.
It's crazy. He is not dark. GG, well played, Clem. He somehow survives. Very impressive. Who needs stim? Who needs combat shields when you have Marines, a couple of Cyclones, and a Dream? Again, really nice juggling there out of Clem. Really nice control. Attention to detail, keeping those Cyclones alive, using them to focus fire as many Roaches and Ravagers as he could. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was really insane. Those Cyclones staying alive forever, dodging so many Ravager shots, which is crazy micro. I mean, that's the kind of thing only the top, like, 2-3 Terrans could pull off. I joke about it, but that push from Raynor was really, really powerful, and Clem just barely holding on over and over again on just a slightly better economy, and that was enough to end up winning it.
Yeah, a lesser player would have died there, definitely. So that was such a close defense, such a clutch hold there from Clem. Things were looking a little bit dire for him, but as the game went on longer, he was looking more and more powerful. And yeah, I mean, I don't fault Raynor going for that. Unfortunately, he did telegraph himself a little bit with that, with the positioning of the Roach Warren, which was scouted immediately. But at the same time, it did also look like Clem believed that at a certain point the all-in would end, and then like that's why he was pushing out, that's why he was being a little bit more assertive, and yeah, nah, Raynor, he just committed.
Yep, Raynor was like, I'm gonna stop building drones now, and he didn't build a single one after that. You know, he sticks to his guns, and I appreciate that about him.
Exactly. He is a keeper. He commits. He does commit. And yeah, with that, congratulations to Clem for becoming this week's champion here. Even though this was Raynor's, return, his comeback to ESL Americas for the first time in a very long time. Again, I don't know when the last time it was that he did play in ESL Americas. I want to say months, maybe a year. I don't know. But yeah, it was a really good performance, but unable to take it all the way to the win here from Raynor.
Yep, Clem once again dominating the ESL Open Cup Americas, just furthering his lead with how many of these EPT Cups he's won. Yeah, we used to call it the Big Gabe Weekly. It is now the Clem Weekly.
Exactly. We had these European invaders coming in, trying to claim the win here this week. But Clem, he represents NA. He represents Texas quite well. He holds on to it.
That's right. USA, USA, USA.
Beautiful. And yeah, once again, Chicken Man, it was a great time casting with you. We try to come together whenever we can, and it's always a blast.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. And this time, no Protoss in sight. Ooh. We've broken the curse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been busted thanks to Cure. Honestly, Cure busted that curse.
He did. If you're a Protoss player out there, if you're a little bit upset that there wasn't Protoss representation in the finals, then blame Cure. It's
yeah. It's all his fault.
It's all his fault. But yeah, great tournament here today. Great tournament, and thank you so much, Chicken Man. What's up next on your channel? What's your next broadcast? What's going on?
I don't know. I think I might play some Zero Space this week.
Oh, let's go.
I don't really have any casts coming up until EPT next week, so
Mhm.
might try to chuck on a cheeky stream here and play a video game on stream. I don't. Did you know you could do that?
I could.
I thought you could only cast when
Oh.
you're streaming. I didn't realize you could play games.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, are you sure? Is that legal? Is that...
I haven't tested it yet.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
You know?
Yeah, I'll look into that. I'll make sure that I don't get banned or anything. But yeah, have you already dabbled in the Zero Space, or is this gonna be your first foray?
Yeah, a little bit. I've played a few games here and there, with two of the factions, but I haven't tried the third faction, and it looked really cool. I was watching Tasteless's channel the other night, and he was playing the other faction that I hadn't played, which I do not remember what any of them are called. And it looked really cool. It had this giant tank, and I was a big fan of that tank.
There you go.
Cool tank. It had guns on it.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear. Yeah, I've been seeing some of the new streams for Zero Space pop up, and I look forward to it. I haven't dabbled into it myself yet, but maybe we'll be able to get into it. Do you know how long the alpha is running for, or is it
until the 22nd, I believe,
okay.
for this, or at least that's how long that you can stream it for.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening after that, but
fair enough. So yeah.
What about you? You got more casting later today?
Yeah, always, Papi. What do you mean?
Always. I know. It's a rhetorical question.
Oh my god. Later on tonight, we're gonna be hosting a new event. It is gonna be in 7.5 hours, I believe. We're gonna be hosting a joint tournament with the CranKy Ducklings and Club NV. We're gonna be hosting a show match. It's gonna be the Club NV X Duckling Showdown #1. This is a bit of an announcement. I actually haven't talked about it yet, but it's going to be a weekly show match series here with Club NV. It's just a way to support the Korean scene and to support some of the ex-Club NV members. And let me just quickly check here. I believe tonight's show match is going to be a TVZ between Cure and DRG.
Yeah, looks like a banger. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested, again, it's going to be just a singular show match. It's going to be a best of 7 between Cure and DRG. And next week, or it's going to be a weekly show match series. So next week, we already have a couple players lined up. Some more amateur Koreans. It's going to be Mondo and Quanta. Creator is going to be making an appearance, and potentially another player as well.
Nice. All right. That's good stuff.
Thank you. It's been in the works, and so you can check us out there if you're interested. But otherwise, check out Chicken Man's channel, Chicken Man SC on Twitch, and also on YouTube as well. Going to be checking out some of that Zero Space. Yeah, sure, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Do you have any strong thoughts yet, or?
It's been fun. That's about it.
Okay.
I will say, it got that bug in me.
Ooh.
Where I want to learn more, and I want to keep seeing what everything does. There's so many different combinations of they have heroes with the factions, and there's different ways you can play that just immediately I was like, oh, there's so much here. I want to figure it out. Which is it's a good start.
Yeah. That's what you want. They've got their claws in you, and they're dragging you in, and you'll say, take me.
Right? I'm going. All right, let's go.
Beautiful. So yeah, look forward to it. Otherwise, yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And maybe we'll meet up again for EPT next week. Maybe.
I certainly hope so. Pleasure casting with you as always. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Take care, Papi. Take care, and take care out there on the snow. Be careful driving.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna be wearing my hiking boots when I walk around.
Okay.
It'll be good.
Beautiful. All right. I'll see you later.
All right. Be good.
All right. Predictions. I have to pay out predictions in the chat. Moment. Okay. Hope everyone had a great time. You can't see me right now, but I'm still here. Hold on. I have to set up my cam. Set up my camera. Un momento. I need to set this up a little bit cleaner. I can definitely have a smoother transition whenever I cast with Chicken Man. Hold on. Bam! There we go. We are back. We are back. I apologize if I wasn't paying too much attention to the chat, but we are of course getting into it and getting involved. Catching up, Happy. Catching up. Clone was not easy at all. Hello, Slow Bro, Jeff Bezos, the Kitten Jedi, welcome, Furajin, Bag of Smiles. The chat wasn't too active. Chat wasn't too active, but it's all good. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all enjoyed the broadcast, enjoyed the tournament. As I did just mention, we're gonna be live once again in 7.5 hours. So I'm most likely gonna be, I was gonna say getting some rest. I have to go get some food. I have to go get ready, prepare myself, and we'll see you guys in 7 hours for that show match series. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thanks so much for the support. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we will find someone to raid. Don't you worry. We'll find someone to raid. So give them some love and give them some support. Who's streaming right now? Who is out there? We'll find someone. Otherwise, again, we'll see you guys next time. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. You know, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. We are all things CranKy Ducklings. We're also co-streaming on YouTube as well. I did notice you guys in the chat. See Chad Blazer, Johnny Houston, welcome, welcome. Hope you all enjoyed. GG. And yeah, with that, we're going to be heading off. So we'll see you guys later on tonight for that show match between Cure and DRG. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao.